Naruto's Strongest Talent, Chapter 61-80. 61 Tsunade's Necklace. Tsunade's gift. Chen's heart moved slightly. Hearing Tsunade's words, he naturally had some anticipation in his heart. He didn't know what Tsunade's gift was. Even Jiraiya, who was beside him, was slightly stunned. Looking at Tsunade, he didn't know what Tsunade had prepared. Gift. Tsunade smiled lightly, waved his hand suddenly, and let Jiraiya leave. Jiraiya, I want to give Tatsu a present, please go out for a while. Jiraiya was very upset and pouted. What are you doing, making it so mysterious? Tsunade glared at Jiraiya, causing Jiraiya to shrink his neck subconsciously, and hurriedly dragged Minato away. Seeing this, Chen laughed secretly in his heart. It seems that Tsunade has a lot of power, and Jiraiya didn't dare to make trouble in front of Tsunade. Think about it, Tsunade's terrifying power. I'm afraid no one is not afraid of it, especially Jiraiya, who must be bullied by Tsunade on weekdays. Jiraiya and Minato left, leaving only Tsunade and Tatsu. Tsunade blinked his eyes and smiled. I didn't expect Mr. Sarutobi to let you go to the battlefield. And Tsunade were the only ones left. They were already very familiar with each other. Tsunade didn't mention the gift, but chatted with Tatsu with a smile. Actually, I entered Anbu. Chen Dao simply recounted his own experience during this period of time. Tsunade realized this, and a look of surprise flashed in his beautiful eyes. It turns out that Chen has experienced a lot during this period of time, and it is no wonder that he has grown up so quickly. You should be unmatched among your peers in Konoha now. Even if you look at the 5 countries, you are the best one. Tsunade smiled happily, proud. But Chen shook his head. If it's just that no one in the same generation can match, I'm not satisfied. Tsunade was startled, and then a smile appeared on the corner of his lips. You don't care. Mind or talent is the best choice. If Naoki is like you, our Senju clan can be revived. Tsunade thought of his younger brother and sighed again. In fact, Naoki is also very good, but of course not as good as Tatsu. Chen shrugged, trying to comfort Tsunade, but he couldn't seem to find anything to comfort him, so he just kept his mouth shut. Thanks to your rescue this time, Chio planted a trap here to ambush us. This time I really thought it was more fortunate than for good. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid that even if Jiraiya brings people to support me, I might not be able to win Chio. Tsunade said seriously. Chen agrees with what Tsunade said. Chio is already very strong, plus more than 100 puppet masters are all elites, and there are hundreds of other Sunagaku ninjas. If Jiraiya rashly supports, it may not be able to win. Chen smiled and didn't answer. I promise to give you a gift, but I won't break my promise. Tsunade light. Then he suddenly stretched out his jade hand and approached the snow-white neck to untie the necklace that he had been wearing. It was a jade-green necklace, with a verdant luster, like the light of life, very beautiful. Chen's heart moved. Isn't this the original necklace? Tsunade gave the necklace to his younger brother Naoki and his first love Kato Dan. The chain fell into Naruto's hands again. Now, Tsunade actually gave me this necklace. Chen was slightly startled. This chain seems to be very important to you. Really give it to me. Chen rode. Tsunade smiled and said, well, this is the necklace that my grandfather gave me. I always wear it close to my body, and now I give it to you. As Tsunade spoke, he took off the necklace, and then took the initiative to put it on for Chen. When the necklace touched Chen's body, Chen only felt a sudden peace in his heart, as if there was really a life force shrouded in it, making his heart quiet. Chen knew that this chain was left over from the original Hokage Senju Hashirama, not to mention that the necklace itself is very valuable, and its commemorative significance to Tsunade is even more extraordinary, so Chen Kai was very surprised that Tsunade would give this necklace to him. Well, you look good wearing it. After Tsunade put it on for Chen, he looked up and down, and smiled with satisfaction. Chen smiled, only to feel a lot closer to Tsunade. Tsunade, faint body temperature on this necklace, as well as a faint scent. Thank you for saving me. Chen suddenly froze slightly. Tsunade quickly withdrew the action, and before Chen had time to think about it, she saw that Tsunade had a faint yuhi dizziness on her face at this time. She smiled. Don't think too much, this is also a reward for you. Chen was speechless, and his heart murmured for a while, it's strange that you don't make people think too much about your actions. Seeing Chen's speechless expression, Tsunade smiled happily and was in a good mood. Chen, your current strength is close to the elite Jonin, and if you go further, you will be close to the peak of Jonin. You have to work hard. You will have a rare opportunity to sharpen it on the battlefield. Tsunade encouraged again. Chen nodded. In the Hokage world, Jonin is a general term, and many ninjas are Jonin. However, the difference in strength between Jonin is very large. Take Kakashi in the original book as an example. The 12-year-old Kakashi is already Jonin, but he is completely different from the later Master Kamui. In fact, according to the division of this world, the 12-year-old Kakashi is an ordinary Jonin, the Kakashi in the first part of the original book is an elite Jonin, and the Kakashi of the Master Kamui in Hayate's biography is a peak Jonin, and can even be called a quasi-cage level powerhouse. And now Chen's strength is at the stage of elite Jonin. Above this, is the peak of Jonin, which is the peak of Jonin. If you have any questions about ninjutsu, you can come to me at any time. Tsunade warned again. Well. Chen nodded, but secretly laughed in his heart. With the old six paths by his side, Chen was like carrying an encyclopedia of the ninja world with him, basically no need to bother Tsunade. However, Tsunade's thoughts made Chen feel warm in his heart. Stinky boy, your teacher is very good. The necklace I gave you is also a good thing. Ah, it seems that it was left by the reincarnation of the previous Asura. The voice of the Six Paths old man resounded in Chen's heart. More, please subscribe, please be automatic, thank you Watermelon. To see the underlined version of the novel. 62 Rival. One change in the morning, ask for a monthly pass. Old man, you suddenly made a scary sound again. Chen contemptuously said. Stinky boy, what are you talking about? You are the heir of my ninja sect, you must respect the teacher and respect the Tao. The old man of six paths was dissatisfied. Chen pursed his lips for a while, also said, the establishment of the Broken Five, ninja, now it's just the two of us. This heir is useless at all, there are only two people in the small sect, and he is so majestic. The corners of the mouth of the old Six Paths man twitched, his face slowly turned black, and he was helpless to the stinky boy in his heart. In the end, he could only take out his trump card. Stinky boy, do you want this old man to teach you how to escape? Okay, master, go ahead. Chen stopped complaining immediately, and looked at the old man's six paths with a bright smile, completely different from just now. The corners of the Six Paths immortal's mouth twitched, and she felt more and more that her apprentices were taken carelessly. Well, your strength is getting stronger and stronger now, and the old man can also teach you some other ways of yin and yang escape. However, this place is close to the battlefield and is not suitable for cultivation. I will teach you when it is safe. Six Paths Ferry Road. No problem. Chen ended the communication with Six Paths and chatted with Tsunade again. At this moment, Chen suddenly felt that a distant gaze was focusing on him, and that gaze was staring at him with scrutiny and inquiry. Chen squinted his eyes, looked around, and saw a man. The man was probably in his 20s, wearing a Konoha forehead, long blue hair, and tall and thin. Tatsu recognized this guy at a glance, Kato Dan. Tsunade's lover in the original book. Also used to be the owner of Tsunade necklace. But now, this chain already belongs to Chen. In the original book, Tsunade's necklace is somewhat unknown, and everyone who wore it died except Tsunade, until Naruto appeared later. But Chen doesn't believe in evil, this necklace represents Tsunade's heart, he has no reason to refuse, and scoffs at the so-called unknown. Chen looked at Kato Dan, because of Chen's appearance, the Hokage world seemed to have undergone subtle changes. Tsunade and Kato-dan didn't get together at this time. But it seems that Kato-dan should be very fond of Tsunade, and I don't know what Tsunade's attitude is. Chen pouted his lips, not feeling very cold about Kato-dan. Kato-dan looked at Chen, and suddenly noticed the necklace on Chen's neck, and his expression became slightly gloomy. Kato-dan has been courting Tsunade lately, and of course he knows that Tsunade has always carried a necklace along with it, which he holds dear. But now this necklace that Tsunade cherished appeared on the neck of the boy named Uchiha Tatsun. This made Kato-dan feel very uncomfortable, as if something had been taken away. Kato-dan is not a careful person, but in the face of Tsunade love, he has lost his mind. Boy, this person seems to have a weak enemy to you. The voice of Six Paths resounded in Chen's heart. Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced at Kato. He probably knew the reason why Kato-dan was interested in him, mostly because of Tsunade's necklace. Chen, Kato-dan, let me introduce you. Tsunade didn't notice Tatsu and Ka. The subtlety between Fujidan, on the contrary, introduced the two of them. Kato-dan's expression changed slightly. He heard Tsunade's name just now. When Tsunade called him, he used his full name, Kato-dan, but when he called Chen, he called him by his name. Judging from the above, Tsunade is undoubtedly very close to Chen, but alienated from him. This made Kato-dan a little annoyed. He fell in love with Tsunade the first time he saw Tsunade, and since then he has been intentionally approaching Tsunade, wanting to kiss Fangs, but at this time, he met Chio with a puppet army. Attack! Kato-dan is also among the trapped Konoha ninjas. Immediately afterwards, Chen appeared. Chen almost turned the tide with one person's plan, not only succeeded in making Sunagakur Chio retreat, but also easily rescued Tsunade. The Konoha ninjas were even more grateful to Chen, and Chen's name could be heard everywhere. Coupled with Tsunade's appreciation, and even giving the necklace to Tatsu, this series of things made Kato-dan have a faint hostility towards Tatsu in his heart. Subconsciously, Kato-dan always compares himself to Chen. But now Tsunade's attitude is clear at a glance. Tsunade is obviously much closer to Chen, and Kato-dan's heart is even more burning with hostility towards Chen. Tsunade didn't notice this, but introduced the two of them to each other. From Tsunade's point of view, Chen was his disciple, and this time he saved him, so Tsunade naturally became close to Chen. As for Kato-dan, in Tsunade's heart, he was just a good comrade in arms. With Tsunade's introduction, Chen Kai knew that Kato-dan was a peak jonin, and his strength was very good. This is also expected by Chen, the ability shown by Kato-dan, it seems that he should have some ability. Chen, hello. Kato-dan forced a smile to greet Chen, restraining the hostility towards Chen in his heart. Chen pouted, and said hello to Kato-dan, which is considered to be acquaintance. Although Chen was a little unhappy with Kato-dan in his heart, he didn't show it at all. Kato-dan, I hope you don't mess with me, otherwise. A cold light flashed in Chen's eyes. Saying hi to Kato-dan, Chen leaves with Tsunade. Kato-dan, on the other hand, looked at the back of Chen and Tsunade side by side, clenched his fists tightly, and a look of unwillingness flashed in his eyes. Boy, you have to watch out for this Kato-dan. Six Paths reminded. Chen nodded. Don't worry, old man, I know what to do. Chen is very clear that Kato-dan should not be such a jealous and cautious person in the original book. But looking at the current situation, Kato-dan is obviously very obsessed with Tsunade, because Tsunade is close to him, Kato-dan is hostile to himself. Chen narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself how to deal with Kato-dan. In the next time, Tsunade and Jiraiya led the Konoha ninja army back to the stronghold, and Chen also left with the ninja army. At the same time, Chen still remembered what the old man Six Paths said to teach him to escape. The first update, it may be these few the reason for staying up late all day, some stuffy nose and cold, I feel uncomfortable, I go to bed first, and continue tomorrow. Or please support the watermelon, thank you. 63 Yangdun's Nature Transformation. Arriving at Konoha's stronghold, it was finally safe for the time being. According to the store, there are more than 1,000 ninjas, as well as masters such as Tsunade and Jiraiya, so the safety issue can be guaranteed. In today's war-torn country of rain, this place can be regarded as a rare safe place. After returning to the stronghold, Chen planned to raid Sunagakure village, and the plan to rescue Tsunade was finally spread out. Only then did the senior officials of Sunagakure know that they were completely played by a boy from the Uchiha family. There was a shock, and I felt that my face was hot. It was a shame. Not only Sunagakure village, Rain Country, Iwagakure village, and Konoha village, these 3 countries received this news. Remember that Konoha has such a talented boy. If Chen was only a little famous before, then now he is known by many people on the battlefield of the Land of Rain. At the same time, Chio called Chen's name as Konoha's rising star, and many people now call him that. Young geniuses always get the most attention. News came to Konoha, Kushina, Makoto, Akamichi Choza and others who were more sincerely proud and happy. In the stronghold, Chen is respected by the Konoha ninjas, especially the group of ninjas who were rescued by Chen, and they respect Chen even more. All in all, Chen is living a very nourishing life now. Boy, get carried away, although your plan is very good, but your strength is still a little short, and now you are in danger against elite Jonin. The 6 paths old man did not forget to pour cold water on Chen. Chenpai pouted. I know, don't worry, do I look like a person who gets carried away? Like. The 6 paths old man replied maliciously. But it wasn't like that in his mind. 6 paths knew that this kid is mature and not comparable to ordinary people. Chen directly ignored the words of the old man 6 paths and said, speaking of the old man, you said last time that you wanted to teach me how to escape the yin and yang. Chen also knows that his top priority is to improve his strength, so he can't wait to let the 6 paths immortal teach him how to escape. Cough, yin and yang escape, this is the method that this old man is proud of, but since you are my disciple, I will teach you reluctantly. The old 6 paths looks like you've taken advantage of it. Chen pouted, but immediately heard the old man from 6 paths speak with a serious expression. Yin and Yang Dun are the source of all power and possess great power. Among them, Yang Dun is life-giving energy, while Yin Dun is spiritual energy. Combined, all things can be born. Chen's face turned solemn, listening to the old man from 6 paths. 6 paths eloquently said, Boy, you know that my 2 sons, Asura and Indra, have inherited the power of yin and yang respectively, and the Sharingan of your Uchiha family is the manifestation of Indra's power of yin and yang. Well. Chen nodded, he knew this for a long time. What I'm going to teach you now is Yang Dun's nature transformation. The old man of 6 paths said, the instant body technique I gave you before is just the use of ordinary Yang Dun. Of course, there are other ways to use Yangdun. You can inject Yangdun chakra into it when you release ninjutsu to form Yangdun's nature transformation. Infuse Yangdun's chakra when casting ninjutsu, like you inject Yangdun's chakra when you use Kaiden, fire style, try it. 6 paths old man said. No one around, and Chen immediately tried it out, Kaiden fire style, grand fireball. When Chen released the grand fireball, he injected the chakra of Yang Dun, and immediately felt that the flames in front of him were completely different. In an instant, Chen imitated an illusion, he felt that the chakra seemed to have life, and the flames in front of him were completely different. The flame also seems to have fresh vitality, which he can manipulate and use. This is the nature of Yangdun. Change. Boy, it looks like you found it. That's right. Yang Dun controls the vitality and can inject life-like vitality into the static form. Forming a nature transformation, the power is far greater than that of ordinary ninjutsu. The old 6 paths said proudly. It was so. Chen instantly thinks of the sand of Gaara in the original work. Gaara can manipulate the sand at will, the sand has life in his hands, it seems that this is the use of Yangdun, and now Chen has Yangdun, can master the flame, change the flame into any shape, feel free to control. Isn't this similar to the ability of the original Sasuke Mangekyous, adding earth life? Of course, Yangdun can not only change Kaden, fire style but also others. This effect is simply better than adding earth life. Plus having a soil life is a unique ability of Mangekyo. Chen is overjoyed. Yangdun is really extraordinary. The old man of six paths said proudly. How, it is amazing. The use of Yangdun is more than that. Your current strength is not able to exert the true power of Yangdun, and the power of Yangdun is definitely far beyond your imagination. Chen nodded secretly. In the original work, Naruto used the power of Yangdun to create an eye for Kakashi. Such a powerful power is precisely Yangdun. After learning Yangdun, your body's resilience will gradually become stronger. And Yangdun's ninjutsu is far more powerful than ordinary ninjutsu. The stronger the power of your Yangdun, the greater the power of ninjutsu. Six Paths Old Man said. Next, the Six Paths Old Man handed over Yangdun's cultivation method to Chen. Yangdun's cultivation method is somewhat similar to sage art in the original book, and both require chakra cultivation. First, you need to extract special Yangdun chakra, and then accumulate and use it. Chen finally is master Yangdun's cultivation method, so he could not help but clench his fist slightly, feeling a little excited in his heart. Master got Yangdun, Chen was in a good mood, and began to practice. Then 10 days in a row, Chen finally mastered the usage of Yangdun, and under the guidance of the old six paths, Chen made rapid progress. Yangdun, Long Yan sings. The chakra in Chen's body surged, a powerful chakra burst out, and at the same time, several fire dragons roared out. These fire dragons are completely different from ordinary Kaden, fire-style, fire dragons, and they even carry fresh life. Lifelike, as if it is really a living thing, Chen can also manipulate these fire dragons to shift direction and change shape. What is even more shocking is that in the flame of Long Yan's singing, there is a touch of golden color, which is as dazzling as the sun, and it is the power of Yangdun. The ninjutsu of Long Yan Fangge was released, and the surrounding trees and water were burned. The flames roared, the power was much stronger than before, it was extremely terrifying. Please subscribe, please be automatic. The cold seems to be more serious, and the brain is so faint. In addition, Yangdun is an important foreshadowing, and a paragraph of Baidu content is attached below for reference. The following content is all free. Don't say watermelon to make up the number of words. The concept of Yin-dun and Yang-dun. To control the imagination and spiritual energy as the yin and escaping power of the source is created by the Yang-dun power that cannot be derived from the body energy that controls life, and it is endowed with life. Yang-dun is mainly about vitality. All demonic illusions basically use the power of yin. And will use esoteric ninjutsu. The ninja clan of ninja, the secret techniques they use do not belong to any of the 5 major nature transformations, most of them belong to yin-yang escape. The secret technique used by the Nara family to manipulate shadows is yin escape, while the multiplication technique used by the Akamichi family to increase the mass of the body uses the power of yang escape. Gaara's sand dun, which can give life to the still sand, is also similar to the use of Yang-dun. The protagonist Yang escape has 2 functions. One is to give the flame, Doden earth style, and other vitality, and the other is to generate nature transformation, which makes the flame and other power stronger. To see the underlined version of the novel. 64 Chen's mission. The flames of Longyan's singing scorched the surroundings. Even in the rainy weather like the land of rain, the flames seemed to never go out. The burning and rising were also due to the chakra of Yang-dun. Very good, the dragon flame sing that you released is far more powerful than before, and the level of this ninjutsu has also exceeded the level. The old man of 6 paths said very comfortably. After Longyan Fangge joined Yangdun chakra, Chen named it Yangdun, Longyan Fangge. Its power has far surpassed before, and its destructive power is powerful. Moreover, there is a trace of golden yang escape in the flame, and the appearance is also very windy. What's more, in the rain-filled country of rain, the flame of this dragon's song is not affected too much. It is entirely because of the sun. The reason for escape. Yangdun is really powerful, and it's very handsome, actually mixed with gold in the flames. Chen wrote. Boy, when your Yangdun cultivation reaches a stronger state, the flame will gradually become completely golden due to Yangdun's nature transformation, and its power will be stronger. 6 paths old man said. Chen's eyes lit up. Yangdun's nature transformation would actually bring about such an effect, which really surprised him. I remember in the original book, when Sasuke and Naruto fought in the end of the valley, Chidori had a nature transformation due to the curse mark. Chidori turned black, and Chen is the same situation now. Chen is very satisfied with this. Yangdun has now become another trump card for Chen. However, although Yangdun is strong, it also has shortcomings. Yangdun consumes a lot of chakra, and Chen cannot use it often. Even so, Chen was still satisfied. After the practice, Chen returned to the base. In the stronghold, there are already a lot of ninjas missing, because Tsunade and Jiraiya have brought the ninja team to support Orochimaru, and it is estimated that they will not be able to return for a while. Chen. At this time, Chen heard a familiar voice and looked up. It was Minato. It's Minato, what's wrong? Chen couldn't help asking. Minato walked in and said with a warm smile, Chen, it's boring for us to stay at the base, do you want to do a mission together? What task? Chen shrugged and asked, but there was a bit of interest in his heart. After all, Master Yang done just now, Chen still wants to use it in actual combat. Minato said, the task of killing an elite Jonin in the Land of Rain. This elite Jonin is one of Hanzo's capable subordinates, nicknamed Ghost Blade, and his strength is very good. He is the leader of the nearby ninja in the Land of Rain. It was so. Chen's eyes lit up, an elite Jonin, just in time to test his own master's strength after Yangdun. You actually aimed at Jonin, the elite of the Land of Rain, you have a lot of thought. Chen smiled. Minato shook his head, give the ghost knife to me, and hand over the Jonin beside him. Minato has also been practicing hard during this time, but he knows that he is far from the elite Jonin, and that he can deal with Jonin as the limit. No problem. Chen readily agreed. Chen and Minato were wanted by the Land of Rain, and they had no scruples. The two hit it off and began to prepare to kill Jonin, the elite of the Land of Rain. After preparing the ninja tools and military ration pills, Minato excitedly pulled Chen and said, go, find the ghost sword. Don't worry, I'll take a look at the information on this ghost blade first. Chen smiled, and then took a closer look, only to find the ghost sword turned out to be quite an extraordinary character in a megacar. Ghost Sword is his nickname because his weapon is a huge sickle. This ghost sword is especially good at taijutsu and Suiten, water style, and his strength is very good. It is also a very famous ninja in a megacar. Minato, you've picked a good opponent, this ghost sword is pretty good. Chen narrowed his eyes. Let's go quickly, I've already inquired about it. Ghost Blade is also in a town in the Land of Rain, and there should be a few Jonin guards by his side. As long as we get rid of him, we'll leave quickly. Minato rode. Well. Tatsu agreed immediately and set off with Minato. Chen and Minato are very clear that their growth and progress are the fastest in actual combat. After this period of war, their progress can only be described as rapid. This is also the reason why Minato took the initiative to take this task, and Minato also has the intention to sharpen himself. The two hurried on their way, and finally arrived at the town where the ghost sword was at dusk. The rain in the sky never stops, and the rain beats on the ground, stirring up a series of sprays. In order to conceal their identities, Chen and Minato were careful along the way, and even deliberately disguised themselves as refugees from the Land of Rain. At this time, Chen and Minato were both dirty and smeared with some mud on their faces, disguised as refugees. Unremarkable. There are a lot of refugees in this town, who are just covering for us. Chen looked around, There were refugees everywhere in the town, most of them were women and children, and there were cries everywhere. Well, the ghost knife should be in the casino in front. The mission data shows that the ghost knife loves gambling. Every day I bring my subordinates to the casino in this town to gamble. Minato whispered. Liked gambling. Chen's face was a little weird, and he couldn't help but think that this ghost knife and Tsunade had the same hobbies. They both liked gambling. In front of it. It may be due to the war. The casino looks a bit dilapidated, but it is still very lively inside. There are many people gambling in it. Well, it's almost time for the ghost knife to appear. Minato nodded. Chen narrowed his eyes and found a figure. It was a man with several ugly scars on his face, holding a scythe in his hand, wearing an omegakure forehead, and looking arrogant. Wherever he went, people respectfully made way for him. This man was the target of the mission, Ghost Sword. Perhaps it was because he came out to gamble. Ghost Sword didn't bring many subordinates by his side, only 2 omegakures followed him, and they were very respectful. The mission target appears, ready to start. Chen narrowed his eyes. Good. Ghost Zhao didn't even realize that he was being targeted, and still swaggered into the casino. Good chance, go. Chen Yan was concise, quickly hand seal, chakra surged, and took the lead, Chidori. Minato also did not hesitate, and immediately followed, launching an attack. There were exclamations in the refugee crowd, all of them were dumbfounded watching Chen and Minato's sudden movements, and they were still a little unclear. More. Thank you Qian Yu Qi Xuan, Empire Blood Sword Demon Kun, Crossing the Little Dragon, Fallen. Lu Guang, Tianxin Xuanwu's Reward for Children's Shoes, and Chapter 4. 65 Assassination of Elite Jonin. 4 more, automatic. Chen moved quickly, his body stomped, and he flashed suddenly, Chidori's lightning infusion in his palm, and the chakra visible to the naked eye condensed and stabbed out. Chirp, chirp. Chidori's lightning spread, and the powerful chakra made the ghost knife react. After all, Ghost Sword is an elite Jonin. Although he looks swaggering on the surface, he still has some vigilance in his heart, otherwise he wouldn't even bring 2 Jonin guards to the casino. Ghost Knife was startled, but quickly responded. Damn, you actually want to assassinate this uncle, which country are you ninjas? While speaking, the Ghost Sword flashed, quickly retreated, and used the instant body technique. At this critical juncture, the instincts belonging to the elite Jonin allow him to face the crisis calmly. Tomo in Chen's eyes are clearly visible, and at the same time Chidori stabs out, attacking the ghost knife. The ghost knife used the instant body technique, and the figure flashed strangely, leaving only an afterimage on the spot, dodging backwards. Blinking technique. Chen pouted. It seems that the elite Jonin is really not that easy to kill, each one has a life-saving means. Think about it, even among the 5 great kingdoms, the elite Jonin level ninjas are masters. You're actually a kid, not right? You're Konoha's rising star, Uchiha Chen. At first, the ghost knife still sneered disdainfully, and then his face changed greatly, as if he had discovered something, and there was a hint of jealousy. Chen was slightly startled, but Minato next to Ghost Sword actually knew him and he called himself Konoha's rising star. The expression of some disdain changed immediately and became a little dignified. The ghost knife's arm was dripping with blood. Although he used the telescoping technique to evade Chidori's vital attack just now, Chen was a sneak attack after all, so he was still slightly injured. Gui Dao swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and his eyes became fierce. I didn't expect the famous Konoha rising star to come to sneak attack on Uncle Ben recently. Shouldn't Uncle Ben feel honored? The ghost knife took one bite at a time, but his expression lost his previous arrogance and became very vigilant. He has indeed heard of Chen's name, and recently it has been like thunder. It is said that even Chiyo, the strongest puppet master in Sunagakure village, was forced to retreat by the young man in front of him, and Sunagakure village suffered a great loss because of this. The young man in front of him is definitely a terrifying figure. Ghost Knife held the weapon sickle in his hand, and the fierceness in his eyes became even stronger. He was also a desperado. Although the other party was a famous genius, he might not be afraid of the Ghost Knife. A teenager, no matter how strong he is just an elite jonin, and he may not have a chance of winning. At this time, Minato was fighting with the two jonin guards of the Ghost Sword. Minato used the Hiraishin technique more proficiently. It is no problem to kill ordinary jonin. Although it is difficult to deal with too, it is self-defense. Enough. Uchiha Chen, you are the main character on the wanted list now. If I kill you, the genius of Konoha, I will definitely be rewarded by Lord Hanzo. When the time comes, I can become Lord Hanzo's crony and follow him around. Ghost Knife flashed, and licked the corner of his mouth. There was a commotion among the refugees around, asking the identities of both sides. It seems that this boy from Konoha village is going to assassinate the Ghost Sword. It's a ninja from Konoha village, boy, it looks like. Very famous. I actually want to kill the Ghost Knife. It's not possible, the Ghost Knife is a famous elite jonin. This boy looks like he is only 10 years old, he can kill the Ghost Knife. I hope he kills the Ghost Knife. The Ghost Knife has always done evil, punching and kicking us refugees at every turn. Virtuous, lower your voice. Many refugees nearby were talking in low voices, and looked at the Ghost Knife with some fear. Ghost Knife has done a lot of evil in the town. Deep down in their hearts, these refugees hope that Chen can kill him, but they are a little doubtful. Does the young man in front of him really have such strength? Be vigilant. Ghost Sword is an elite jonin, and his strength is very good. Chen this time is different from defeating Minako before. Chen is to kill Ghost Sword, not defeat. Defeating and killing are completely different concepts. Raiden Thunder Style, Thunder Tiger Kill. Chen gave a low voice and released a ninjutsu. Thunder Tiger Killing is a variation of Reikiri's ninjutsu, the ninjutsu used by Kakashi in the original book, and Chen also learned after Chidori. When the art is activated, the chakra is concentrated in the palm of the hand to form a Reikiri and create a dog shaped lightning. You can freely control the dog, the distance and direction to attack the target. This technique is another form of Reikiri, a genus-level ninjutsu. The fierce dog formed by the thunder and lightning roared and rushed towards the Ghost Knife. The Ghost Knife was taken aback. This kid actually knows such high-level Raiden, Thunder-style, ninjutsu. No wonder he is called a genius. Sweden, Water-style, instant water. Ghost Knife was not slow to respond, and immediately used a ninjutsu. The body quickly glide on the water surface, which is also the instant body technique that can be used in the water environment. In the land of rain, the ninja of the Grandmaster Sweden, Water-style, can occupy a lot of convenience. The Ghost Knife quickly fled to the side, and Chen's Thunder Dog also attacked and bit the Ghost Knife. Ghost Knife sneered, and a strange smile suddenly appeared on the corner of his mouth. I saw Chen's Thunder Dog bite the Ghost Blade's body, and there was a flash of lightning, but the Ghost Blade's body turned into a mass of water and dispersed. Chen's pupils shrank. It turned out to be a water substitute technique. This Ghost Knife moves fast enough. In a short period of time, he actually thought of a way to deal with Chen, and used the substitute technique to avoid this blow. Hey, boy, this uncle is here, behind you. It was so easy to be deceived by my water substitute technique just now, and I think you are nothing more than that. The tall and thin figure of the Ghost Knife suddenly appeared behind Chen, and the sickle in his hand swept over. Go to hell, Ghost Slash. The Ghost Sword is good at melee combat, and this Ghost Slash is one of his famous stunts. The corner of the Ghost Knife's mouth showed a successful smile. Ghost Slash is his proud stunt. He has killed many enemies with this move. It seems that now he has another eye-catching record. Thinking of the various benefits after killing Chen, Gui Dao's heart became eager. The next moment, he was stunned, only to see his ghost cut across Chen's body, and Chen's body changed as a stream of water dispersed. The technique of water substitutes. Chen actually used the technique of water substitutes, and the Ghost Sword was amazed. The cold is getting worse and worse. I will go to the hospital tomorrow to see it. This is Chapter 4. 66 Killing You in Full View. 1 in the morning, ask for everything. Chen's body turned into a stream of water, and he avoided the attack of the ghost knife with the technique of water substitutes. Ghost Sword was stunned, and couldn't understand how this kid actually knew how to use water doubles. Sharingan of the Uchiha family can see through ninjutsu and copy it. Looks like you don't understand the power of Sharingan. Chen's faint voice came, and his body appeared behind the ghost knife. Just now, Chen used Sharingan to see through the hand seal of the ghost sword, so he secretly forged the seal of the water substitute technique, attracting the ghost sword to attack and expose the ghost sword to Chen's field of vision. Using Sharingan to replicate the effect of ninjutsu, Chen easily let the ghost sword fall. Damn boy! Ghost Sword was terrified, and a drop of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. He never thought that Chen would actually see through his own ninjutsu, and instead let him fall for it. The ghost knife bit Kiba, a fierce light flashed in his eyes, and he also reacted between life and death, ready to attack Chen again. Yangdun, Long Yan sings. The chakras on Chen's body surged, and the power belonging to Yangdun also surged out. It was the first time that Yangdun's nature transformation was used in actual combat. Only see a group of Yuhi-colored flames mixed with gold, and the powerful Kaiden fire-style power is highlighted. Even in the rain-drenched environment like the Land of Rain, it can't affect the performance of this ninjutsu in the slightest. A little bit of rain can't put it out at all. What is this flame? The golden flame. When Ghost Sword saw that Chen actually used Kaiden fire style, he was already slightly surprised, and when he saw that the flame was actually mixed with gold, he was even more astonished. The golden flame seems to have never been seen before. The nature transformation caused by Yangdun is very obvious. I can only see the flames are alive as if they have life. He opened his mouth wide, circled around, and locked the ghost knife. This Kaiden fire style technique is definitely not an ordinary Kaiden fire style. What is going on? Originally, Ghost Sword wanted to attack Chen, but when Chen's Long Yan sang, he was terrified and completely lost the courage to attack. Years of combat experience reminded Ghost Sword, he knew that this was no ordinary Kaiden fire style technique. Blinking technique. The ghost knife wanted to use the instant body technique to escape, but saw that the fire dragon came one after another under the control of Chen, and followed. These flames are like life, and it is impossible to escape. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Ghost Blade's heart can only be described as shock, so frightened that the souls of the dead are blown away, and all the limbs of Mukuro feel cold. How can such a Kaiden fire style not only have golden flames, but also can be manipulated by Chen like a living being? In the back, countless refugees were also stunned, and their mouths were open wide. The terrifying power of this ninjutsu. There are also strong and weak points of body instant. Horaishin is a first-class instant body, and Ghost Sword's instant body is much weaker, so the moving distance is also very short, and it is impossible to shake off Chen's flame. Behind the ghost knife, 3 fire dragons roared and followed behind him, opening their mouths and whistling to swallow him. Ghost Knife Eye. There was also a flash of despair in the middle, feeling that he could not escape Chen's attack. But immediately, a fierce color flashed in the ghost knife's heart. With cruelty and madness, he shouted in a hoarse voice, "Don't you want to kill me, Uchiha-chan? I will die with you." Gui Dao was ruthless in his heart. Seeing that he would die if he couldn't dodge the ninjutsu, he decided to desperately drag Chen to hell with him. Ghost Slash, Triple Slash. Ghost Knife was about to die and fought back, using the instant body technique again, directly in front of Chen, and then slashed down with one knife. This knife turned into 3 afterimages, and slashed directly towards Chen. The ferocity of the ghost knife became more and more intense. This was his most powerful blow to death, and he was confident that Chen would not be able to escape. Elite Jonin's death blow is absolutely terrifying. Yangdun, Shunshu. Chen used the instant body technique to evade, and his figure was blurred, and he had appeared more than 10 meters away, but despite this, the blow of the ghost knife just now had already attacked Chen, but Chen avoided the vital part. Chen's shoulders and abdomen were all slashed by this knife, and blood gushed out, but the injuries were not too serious. At this moment, the ghost knife was engulfed by the flame controlled by Chen, and the ghost knife screamed in agony. Before dying, the refugees who were unwilling to be completely engulfed by the flame burst into a commotion, and there were low exclamations. All of them focused their attention on Chen. Ghost Dao, die. Under the watchful eyes of these refugees, Chen killed Ghost Dao alone and killed an elite Jonin. Killing Ghost Dao, Chen also breathed a sigh of relief. Although the injuries on his body looked terrible, they were not the same. It's not too serious. Under the effect of Yangdun, the body is already slowly recovering. The refugees next to Chen looked at Chen with awe and awe. The ghost knife had been in the hearts of these refugees for a long time, but a big man who was absolutely out of reach was actually killed by such a young man for a while, and the refugees were all agitated. Looking at Chen's eyes are complex, there are awe, surprise, and shock. Chen glanced at Minato. At this time, Minato also killed an Omegakure Jonin, and was killing another person. The situation was also dominant, and it was estimated that it would not be long before it was over. Gap between ordinary Jonin and elite Jonin, and this kind of ordinary Omegakure Jonin can be easily solved by Chen. Chen ate a one ration pill and did not intervene in Minato's battle. After a while, Minato finally seized a chance and killed the Omegakure Jonin. At this point, the three Omegakure Jonin including the ghost knife were killed by Chen and Minato. Chen, you actually solved the battle faster than me, you are getting more and more powerful. Minato, who was injured, walked over in a very embarrassed manner, gasping for breath. Minato looked at Chen with surprise in his eyes. Chen was dealing with the elite Jonin, but he ended the battle earlier than him. And just now Minato caught a glimpse and saw Chen join Yangdun Nature Transformation's Long Yan singing, and was even more surprised. He didn't know what kind of ninjutsu Chen had recently learned. The refugees in the distance don't know what to say anymore. Under the watchful eyes of the public, the big man in their hearts, the ghost knife, who is also a famous ninja of Omegakure, was killed just like that. This young man is too scary. Read 3 Things Collection. Recommendation points. 67 Gambling kills people. Automatic. Finally done. The difficulty of this task is really not small, and the counterattack of the elite Jonin before his death is indeed not to be underestimated. Chen said lightly. This ghost knife is worthy of being an elite Jonin, and the counterattack is really strong before dying, and Chen is also injured. Chen's wounds are slowly healing due to the effect of Yangdun. As Immortal Six Paths said, after learning Yangdun, the body's resilience has gradually become stronger. Minato nodded. He was still terrified of the battle just now, and he was also wounded at this time. Chen looked at the corpse of the ghost sword that was burned by the flames, shook his head, and said, "It seems that the ghost sword often oppresses the refugees of the Rain Country on weekdays, and it deserves it." Yeah, I heard that Hanzo of the Salamander is the leader of the Kingdom of Rain, and they exercise high-pressure rule over the Kingdom of Rain, and the ghost sword is probably the same. Minato rode. Chenpai pouted, suddenly remembered something, and said, "Do you know why the ghost knife was stabbed to death by us this time?" "Why?" Seeing that Chen's expression didn't look like a joke, Minato also asked seriously. "Because this guy is so good at gambling that he doesn't even want to gamble, yet he dares to come to the casino for entertainment during the war." Chen rode. Minato is still a little unclear, but his expression is still serious. Chen patted Minato on the shoulder with a sincere look. "So gambling kills people, at least the wives and children are separated, and the family is broken, and the ghost sword is the end." Quote. Minato's mouth twitched and he was speechless. He thought that Chen said something important, but this sentence came out. "By the way, I didn't expect Ghost Sword to recognize you. Chen, you are really becoming more and more famous now." Minato remembered something again and said with emotion. Chen shook his head. He felt that his fame had not reached this level. There must be a reason for it. Chen suddenly remembered that Ghost Dao had said that he was the main character on the wanted list of Hanzo-sama, and suddenly understood something. 80% of the time, he was wanted by the Kingdom of Rain again. Thinking of this, Chen narrowed his eyes slightly and walked towards Ghost Dao's corpse. Ghost Blade's body was already charred black, but he was wearing a ninja armor, so part of his mouth was protected. Chen checked the ghost knife's body, found something else, and narrowed his eyes. What is this? Minato stepped forward and asked. It's still a wanted order, but it's the most wanted order. Chen said lightly. That's right, Ghost Sword is the same as a Megakure Jonin Akamoto before, hiding a wanted order. However, these wanted orders are the latest wanted orders, and they were also issued by Hanzo, the leader of the Kingdom of Rain. Chen took a closer look, and there are well-known ninjas in various countries, such as Chiyo, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Orochimaru, Lois of Iwagakure and others. Chen roughly read some materials. For example, it was written, Chiyo, the first puppet master of Sunagakure, is very powerful, and is famous in the ninja world for making drugs. Can kill this person, reward money. $30 million, 1 ninjutsu level. Tsunade, Konoha's first medical ninja, a member of the Senju clan, famous for medical ninjutsu and magical powers, has a promising future. Can kill this person, reward 30 million yuan, 1 level ninjutsu. A row of similar wanted orders showed that Chen Yi finally saw his wanted order, and he couldn't help but narrow his eyes, only to see that the wanted order read, Uchiha Chen, a genius of the younger generation of Konoha, was taken by Sunagakure village. Chiyo, known as Konoha's rising star, is a genius who has recently risen on the battlefield. With one person, he pushed back the puppet army led by Sunagakure. Chiyo, defeated the elite Jonin, and became famous in one battle. Also killed Jonin, the land of rain. If you can kill this person, you will be rewarded with 10 million yuan and 2 ninjutsu skills, and you will be qualified to become the bodyguard of Hanzo-sama. This. Minato glanced at the wanted notice, and immediately took a deep breath. Chen, you are worth $10 million now, you have 2 levels of ninjutsu, and you are qualified to be Hanzo's personal bodyguard. Chen's previous wanted order was only rewarded with $1 million, but now it has doubled tenfold to 10 million. And there are also 2 ninjutsu. A bounty of 10 million is a huge sum of money. Now is the time of war, the coins are much more valuable than the times of peace, and the purchasing power is very strong. This tens of millions of money is enough for a lifetime of food and clothing. And there is another point, if you kill Chen and you can become Hanzo's bodyguard, this condition also attracts Omegakure's ninjas. You must know that Hanzo, the leader of Omegakure village, is a very cautious person. There are many ninjas around him, and the ninjas who can become his personal guards are all Hanzo's confidants. Such a generous reward. It's no wonder that the ghost knife looked like Minato immediately subconsciously looked for his reward, but found that it was still the same, nothing changed, and the reward was still 500,000 yuan. Minato suddenly felt extremely resentful. Chen, you are really famous now. Hanzo, the leader of Omegakure village, seems to have his eyes on you, and pays so much attention to you. When Minato mentioned Hanzo, a cold light flashed in Chen's eyes. In fact, Chen and Omegakure village seem to be incompatible with each other. So far, the ninjas killed by Chen are basically from Omegakure village, so it's normal for Hanzo to pay more attention to himself. Chen didn't like Hanzo of the Salamander in his heart either. With this wanted order, many ninjas in Omegakure village would probably follow him. Let's go back to the base, or else I'm afraid that other Omegakures around here will be disturbed. Chen whispered, and looked at the refugees around him and the people in the casino at the same time, only to see that everyone around looked at Chen and Minato in awe, and at the same time they all retreated in a circle, obviously in the presence of these refugees. In his eyes, Chen and Minato have become unattainable figures. Well, let's go. Minato nodded too. Chen and Minato immediately disguised themselves again, mixed into the crowd, and disappeared into the town. I have revised the previous reward amount for Minato and Chen. Before Minato and Chen, one was 50,000 and the other was 100,000. After the revision, it was 500,000 and 1 million. Please subscribe, ask for a monthly pass, Watermelon, thank you. To see the underlined version of the novel. 68th Conan, the third update, ask for all support. Tatsu and Minato leave the town of Rain Country and rush all the way to Konoha's stronghold. The rain in the sky seemed to be heavier, falling like broken beads, stirring up crystal water, spreading in circles. The country seems to be weeping. The rain in the land of rain never stops and is full of deep sadness. Color. Chen and Minato walked all the way, and after this journey, Chen's injuries were basically healed. Minato's injuries were more serious, but it did not affect his movement, so the two traveled quickly. Half a day, Chen and Minato arrived at another town in the land of rain. The rain seemed to be heavier in the sky, accompanied by strong winds. There were bursts of loud noises, exclamations and cries in the town, and at the same time the sound of fighting. The sound was very violent, reaching the ears of Tatsu and Minato. What kind of situation seems to be someone fighting ahead? Minato couldn't help asking. Chen squinted his eyes and communicated with the Six Paths Immortal. Although the old man of Six Paths was in a weak state, his perception ability was much stronger. The old man from Six Paths immediately said, "There is a team of ninjas in front of them. The chakra attributes are mainly earth attributes. They may be ninjas from Iwagakure village." Ninja Chen of Iwagakure village was slightly puzzled. He had never seen a ninja in Iwagakure village before. Now that the Shikoku is in a melee, Iwagakure village's fighting strength is also very strong. I heard that Orochimaru led the ninja army, but they did not please, otherwise Tsunade and Jiraiya would not lead the army to support. Iwagakure village actually appeared here. Chen thought to himself, and then said to Minato, "Come on, let's go and have a look." Good. Minato agreed immediately. Chen and Minato were also in disguise at this time, but they were not afraid and entered the town directly. He entered the town. Chen smelled a faint smell of blood. Although it was washed away by the rain, this faint smell reached Chen's nose. At the same time, Chen also saw a few ninjas in the distance. These ninjas were all carrying the foreheads of Iwagakure village, burning, killing and looting in the town. There are about 10 ninjas in these Iwagakure villages. Chen used Sharingan to observe and found that most of the ninjas are just ordinary Chunin, and the leader of the team seems to be only a special Jonin, and their strength is not enough to worry about. But even Chunin, these civilians are irresistible. These Iwagakure villagers of Iwagakure killed many people, and robbed a lot of food, money, and made the town cry, but no one could stop it. Damn, actually killing civilians. Minato was very angry when he saw it, and his eyes were full of anger, as if they could spit fire. Generally in the ninja world, the two countries are at war, and it is relatively rare for ninjas to harm civilians. Like Iwagakure village, which is why Minato is like this. The old man of Six Paths is also full of heart in Chen. These people are really too much, arguing, and they actually bring harm to innocent people. Chen frowned, looking at the civilians of Imegakure village in the distance, and suddenly saw a slender and charming man. Small figure. Little girl of about 4 years old, dirty all over, with light blue-purple hair and light eyes. Orange, angry and scared looking at the ninjas of Iwagakure village who were burning, killing and looting in front of them, with tears in the corners of their eyes, but they couldn't stop crying, and curled up slightly, looking helpless and dazed. Chen's heart moved. The slender and thin little girl in front of her eyes, although she was dirty all over, but Chen recognized who she was at a glance. Conan, the angel of the future, Akatsuki, organization, Conan. At this time, Conan seems to have not met Yahiko and Nagato. At this time, she was only 4 years old, maybe even less than 4 years old, facing the burning and killing of Iwagakure ninjas looting, seems so helpless. Chen's eyes became cold, and he squinted at Minato and said, "Minato, don't do it, let me kill these ninjas in Iwagakure village. Minato was stunned for a moment, but nodded, okay. Minato had no opinion on Tatsu's decision, and he felt that these Iwagakure should be killed. Chen stepped forward, looking very conspicuous, and Iwagakure, who was burning and looting in the town, quickly found Chen. Hey, there's another kid here. Little devil, hurry up and hand over your money, or we'll kill you. Two Iwagakure walked up immediately, sneered, and prepared to attack Chen. In the eyes of these Iwagakure, Chen was just an ordinary kid without any threat. But at this time, Chen slammed into action. Swipe, shuriken blazed out, and several cold lights emerged. These two Iwagakure were just chunin, and were instantly killed by Chen. Feet of blood spattered, and the two Iwagakure fell to the ground. Chen's expression remained unchanged, and he continued to attack and kill these Iwagakure. Chen had no burden in his heart, and did not hesitate to take action. No, this kid is a master. Hurry up. The Iwagakure quickly discovered the anomaly, but it was too late, and the difference in strength between the two sides was not a level, and the strongest among these Iwagakure was only the special Jonin. Chen only used the simplest Kaden, fire style, and shuriken techniques to easily kill 444 Iwagakure, and finally only the leader of Iwagakure was left, which was also killed by Chen almost effortlessly. Refugees in a Megakure village saw this scene from a distance. Many people rubbed their eyes unconsciously, some couldn't believe it, but they had to believe it. We are saved. Yeah, this boy saved us. The refugees in a Megakure village looked at Chen gratefully, and they were all excited. Chen's expression didn't change, but he slowly walked towards Conan. Conan's eyes were wide open, and he looked at the big brother who was not much older than her. Just kill those enemy ninjas, are you okay? Chen walked over to Conan and gave a smile. Conan nodded subconsciously, not knowing if it was an illusion. The rain in the sky seemed to have become much smaller, just like her mood, gradually from hell to heaven. Conan looked at Chen, and Chen left an almost forever unforgettable impression in Conan's heart at this moment. I'm not, it's okay. Conan squeezed his little hands, rubbed the corners of his clothes, blinked his beautiful big eyes, and said timidly. Are sick, go to the hospital for the third shift. My body can't handle it, I understand. 369 Kidnapping Conan, Chen's thoughts. First update, please subscribe. Looking at Conan's big, timid eyes, Chen's heart moved slightly. Chen smiled, then patted Conan's head. It's all right, you hurry up and leave this town, otherwise there may be other Iwagakure coming. Although Conan was dirty now, Chen didn't care and touched Conan's head. Conan's little face gave Yuhi a little, and he only felt that the big brother in front of him was very amiable. First, he saved himself and others like a god, and then Conan couldn't help Yuhi's eyes when he was so close to himself. Don't worry, it's okay to have me at these Iwagakure. Chen comforted Conan, and his expression softened a little. Chen knows that Conan has suffered a lot in the land of rain, not only Conan, but Nagato and Yahiko as well. When I watched Hokage in my previous life, Chen liked Conan very much, and now I see Conan who is 4 years old and feels kind. Well. Thank you big brother for saving me and avenging my parents. Conan burst into tears. Your parents were caught by these Iwagakure. Chen was slightly stunned and said in surprise. Conan's eyes became more Yuhi, but he held back his tears. Well, my father and mother were killed by these ninjas to protect me. Of refugees everywhere in the distance, Chen couldn't help but sighed. It turned out that Conan's parents were killed by Iwagakure. It seems that Chen is indirectly avenging Conan. I'm going to bury my father and mother. Conan Yuhi looked at it. I'll help you. Chen nodded. Thank you big brother. Conan's slender body stood up, and Chen also accompanied her. Minato was a little strange. Watching Chen's movements from a distance, he felt that Chen was really special to this little girl, and he didn't know why. Of course Minato didn't know that the little girl in front of her was a member of the Akatsuki, organization that stirred up the ninja world in the future, and even one of the founders. Chen helped Conan bury her parents, and Conan gradually recovered his emotions. There was also a trace of pitiful days and helplessness. Chen and Conan both knew each other's names. At this time, Conan said, "Thank you brother Chen for saving me, this is for you." Chen was stunned for a moment, only to see Conan stretch out her little hand. Her little hand was holding a paper flower, very delicate. She held the paper flower to Chen. At this time, Conan already likes origami very much, and can fold it very nicely. "It's beautiful, thank you, Conan. I like it very much and will keep it well." Chen Dao, and then touched Conan's head. The sadness in Conan's heart dissipated a lot, and his eyes gradually became brighter. Conan nodded vigorously. "Conan, what are your plans for the future?" asked. Conan shook her head, a dazed look in her eyes. She had just lost her parents in the war. She was in grief and confusion. Chen's appearance seemed to be the only thing that made her want to follow. Can I learn ninjutsu with brother Chen?" Little Nan asked timidly, blinking his big eyes, a little apprehensive, lest Chen would not agree. Chen's heart moved. Conan actually offered to follow him. Chen's mind was racing, and it seemed that this was not bad. Conan has not yet met Nagato and Yahiko, and the future, Akatsuki, has not yet been established. Perhaps accepting Conan is a good opportunity to use Conan as a breakthrough. When the future, Akatsuki, master saw Chen in his hand and fell into deep thought, Conan thought that Chen was trying to reject himself, and his face was sad, and he said, I will be very obedient, and I can do whatever you want." Chen's thoughts were pulled back, looked at Conan, smiled, touched Conan's head and said, "I was just thinking about something else. No problem, you can follow me in the future. Anyway, according to the progress of Konoha's development, Uchiha's family will fall out with Konoha sooner or later. There is no harm in making plans now. Conan will be one of the members of Akatsuki in the future. According to the trajectory of fate, Conan will eventually meet Nagato and Yahiko, and Akatsuki will take root in the country of rain. That being the case, I will abduct Conan now, and when I meet Nagato and Yahiko later, I will wait for the opportunity to guide and establish Akatsuki." The end. Master Akatsuki kept thinking in his heart, and he already had a rough plan. "Let's go." Chen stretched out his hand and said to Conan. Conan couldn't help but be slightly taken aback when he saw Chen's outstretched hand. At this moment, Chen was facing Conan. Conan's mind moved, and he felt that the hands in front of him were like the hands of fate, pulling him out of the abyss. Conan also has a strange feeling for Chen, and he almost regards Chen as the highest existence, as if it is the whole world. "Well." Conan carefully put his small hand into Chen's palm and nodded vigorously. The moment she held hands with Chen, her eyes were as bright as gems. Although it was still raining in the sky, it was like a sunny day in Conan's heart. Chen took Conan and walked to Minato. "Chen, you have to take this little girl with you." Minato looked at Chen in astonishment and asked aloud. Chen nodded. "Well, I'm going to take her to Konoha's stronghold, no problem, right?" "Of course no problem, but such a little girl." Minato really can't figure out why Chen wants to take Conan away. How does he know that Conan will be a key figure in the Akatsuki organization in the future? "It's fine, let's go." Chen ignored Minato's words and said lightly, "Okay." Minato was helpless, sulking his head and following behind Chen. And Chen is pulling Conan, and then go to the stronghold. Chen pulled Conan and disappeared together with Minato in this small town in the land of rain. Chen's heart is very happy, and the harvest after this time is really huge. Not only did he kill an elite Megakurjanin, but he also kidnapped Conan, which is really an unexpected harvest. Conan appears. Akatsuki's roots and sprouts in the land of rain seem to be imminent, and Tatsuya's plan can be implemented step by step. "I have a bad cold and I am sick to death," this is the first chapter. To see the underlined version of the novel. 70 fame is growing, Sanin is back. Second update, monthly pass. Konoha stronghold. Minato walked ahead, Chen and Conan finally arrived at the camp. Conan looked left and right curiously, and hid behind Chen timidly, as if she was a little scared. Her little hand was holding Chen tightly, her eyes were full of attachment, and she didn't seem to want to let go for a moment. Brother Chen. Conan muttered. Don't worry, with me, no one dares to bully you. Chen said lightly. Chen's voice was calm, but what he said made Conan's heart feel warm. Conan looked at Chen, and he already regarded Chen as the closest person in his heart. No, it should be said that because Chen rescued Conan under those Iwagaker's men, he was right. Conan is very good. Conan's feelings for Chen now are somewhat similar to some blind worship. Just one simple sentence from Chen, Conan can do almost anything for Chen. Chen took Conan into the camp, and Chen was greeted by the curious gazes of the Konoha ninjas, probably wondering why Chen brought a little girl back. Chen, I'll go to the main camp first. Minato rode. Got it. Chen nodded, he had to take Conan to tidy up first, Conan was still a little messy. Chen took Conan's little hand, went to his temporary residence, and then instructed Conan, Conan, you go take a shower first, and I will prepare clothes for you to wash. Oh. Conan's face was fluttering, and he nodded obediently, with an obedient expression of being at the mercy of Chen. Go. Chen coughed. Although Conan was only 4 years old, it was obviously impossible for him to help Conan take a bath. Conan went obediently, and Chen specially prepared a set of clothes for Conan. Conan was too thin, so he really didn't have any suitable clothes, but he could only make do with it. After a while, Conan finally finished taking a shower and walked out in baggy clothes. Conan's light blue-purple hair is wet, Yuhi's face is fluttering, his eyes are bright, and he looks at Chen shyly. Brother Chen. Well, it's very beautiful, Conan, you'll definitely become a great beauty when you grow up. Chen smiled and praised. Hearing Chen's compliment, Conan was extremely happy, with a deep joy in his eyes and a sweet smile. Conan, your talent is very good, especially you seem to have a unique ability to comprehend paper, maybe you can develop in this area in the future. Chen smiled. Well. Conan nodded incredulously. Chen also said no more, Conan is still young, and he is not in a hurry to get into ninjutsu. Just like that, Chen brought Conan down to the Konoha stronghold temporarily, and a few months passed in a hurry. Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru are still dealing with Iwagakure, and haven't returned yet. The story of Chen and Minato killing the elite Jonin ghost sword has also been spread, and many people in the battlefield are shocked. Chen actually killed an elite Jonin. This is different from Chen's victory over the puppet master Minako before. Killed the ghost knife directly. This makes Chen's name. The sound became louder, and many ninjas noticed Chen, especially the ninjas in the Land of Rain. In Konoha's stronghold, the eyes of Konoha's ninjas looking at Chen became even more respectful, and everyone felt that Chen was too powerful. Looking at the world of ninja, there are a few people who can kill the genius of the elite Jonin before the age of 10, an absolute genius. Chen's name spread more widely and became more and more famous, although it is not as good as Tsunade, Orochimaru and others, but also gradually began to appear in the eyes of various countries, becoming an existence that cannot be ignored. A few days later, Tatsu, Minato and others received news that the battle between Konoha and Iwagakure on the front line finally ended temporarily, and Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya all began to lead the ninja troops to withdraw. Finally, after 2 days, Tsunade and others all returned. At the main camp of Konoha, Tatsu and Minato went to meet them, and Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Kato Dan and others all returned to the camp. Tatsuka and Minato have been waiting for a long time. Mr. Jiraiya. Minato bowed respectfully to Jiraiya, and then saluted Tsunade and Orochimaru, well behaved. And Chen shrugged on the side, but did not salute. Tsunade didn't care about Chen's attitude, he was used to it, and sometimes Chen even called her by her first name instead of Tsunade, sensei. Orochimaru focused his eyes on Chen, looked up and down at Chen, and said with a hint of emotion, "Tsunade, your student has not been seen for a long time. It is getting better and better, and I have been hearing his name all the time recently. Killing the elite Jonin is amazing." Orochimaru has always been very concerned about Chen, and Chen's name has begun to resound in the country of rain, so Orochimaru is naturally very concerned. A look of pride flashed in Tsunade's eyes, and he was happy because of Tatsu, and all three Tsunade knew about Tatsu's killing of the ghost sword, so they expressed their appreciation to Tatsu. Kato Dan saw Tsunade. Three people admire Chen very much, and his heart flashed a bit of depression, and his eyes became a little hazy. Overwhelmed. Chen said indifferently, he didn't feel much for the praise of Tsunade's trio of three, he just killed the elite Jonin, it was never his goal. I don't know how the war with Iwagakure will go this time. Chen asked. As soon as this was mentioned, Jiraiya sighed and said with a bitter face, "Don't mention it, Iwagakure has many masters this time, and even has a special, demolition unit, which is very powerful in combat. On the frontal battlefield, we hardly accounted for too cheap. Iwagakure is so strong that even Tsunade and the three of them can't be cheap, but I remember there are some clips in the original book. Iwagakure village is really strong, and once surrounded all Sanin, Jiraiya was seriously injured, and finally had to wait for rescue to get out of the trap." Chen narrowed his eyes, thinking about it. "Forget it, Chen, I don't know if you have a good plan." Jiraiya looked at Chen expectantly, and suddenly said, after the last raid on Sunagakure, Jiraiya paid special attention to Chen's plan. As soon as these words were said, everyone focused their attention on Chen. More, the watermelon cold is also coding, please support. Another tactic of 71 Chen. Please subscribe. Everyone focused on Chen's body, all looked at Chen, waiting for him to speak. Chen shrugged silently. I still don't know the situation on the battlefield at all, you just let me make a plan, what do you think I am? Sentence made Jiraiya embarrassed, coughed, and quickly took out the map and unfolded the map. The current detailed topographic map of the Rain country and the current distribution map of the ninja troops in various countries all appeared in front of Chen. Chen narrowed his eyes and observed carefully. Orochimaru introduced from the side. The current situation is like this. Because of your attack, Sunagakure temporarily retreated the defense line and waited for occasional moves. The number of Omegakure is too small to be relatively unimportant. The two most important nations in the Rain Kingdom are the Iwagakure ninjas and our Konoha. Chen nodded. Sunagakure and Omegakure did not move for the time being. Of course, this did not mean that they had no idea. If there was a chance, they would attack at any time. Chen looked at the map, and sure enough, the battlefields of the two kingdoms of Iwagakure and Konoha were marked on the map. Among them, the vanguard of Iwagakure was engaged in a battle with Orochimaru's three-man third unit, which was the battle this time. Seems that Orochimaru and the others have encountered hard bones, the two sides are deadlocked, and neither has taken advantage. Iwagakure village. Chen lowered his head and thought for a while, looked at the map carefully, pointed to a place and asked, this is where the troops of Iwagakure village are located. Well, that's right. Orochimaru nodded. Iwagakure village also dispatched thousands of troops as the vanguard this time, and they are all very good. For an army of thousands of people, food supplies must be a big problem. I don't know where their food supplies are placed. Chen asked lightly. There are thousands of troops, and it is also in the war. It is impossible for ninjas to have a convenient food such as military ration pills. Most ninjas rely on dry food to supplement their physical strength, so this is a lot of consumption. Also crucial. It's very simple, if the ninjas have no food to eat, how can they fight? You want to start with food and supplies. Tsunade shook his head slightly. We also thought about it, but Iwagakure village has stored food very well and placed it in a low-lying place in their camp, and we can't destroy it at all. Especially in the country of rain, it is rainy weather again, and fire attacks don't work. In a war, destroying the opponent's forage is indeed the most effective way. Destroying food and grass is generally the easiest to use fire attack, but the rain environment in the country of rain determines that fire attack cannot be effective. Who said I was going to attack with fire? Chen shrugged. Then what else can you do? Tsunade's beautiful eyes stared in disbelief. Chen smiled mysteriously. What if there is? Why don't we make a bet? As long as you can come up with a reliable way. If you win, I will promise you one thing, and vice versa. Tsunade looked at Chen with beautiful eyes, and said with restraint. Tsunade really couldn't think of any way that Tatsuya could destroy Iwagakure's food, and immediately said. Tsunade likes to gamble, this is a well-known thing, and now he lives again in the face of it, and immediately said it. Chen narrowed his eyes. Unexpectedly Tsunade actually offered to make a bet. But also self-confidence. Okay. Chen knows that although Tsunade likes to gamble, he doesn't seem to be lucky at all, and he almost always loses every gamble. Every gamble will lose the big fat sheep. This is Tsunade's nickname in the gambling circle. Come on, tell me, what's the best way for you kid? Jiraiya couldn't wait. Minato, Orochimaru, and Kato-dan also looked at Shang-chen, becoming more and more curious. Can Chen deal with the Iwagakure ninjas? You said just now that Iwagakure stores all their food in the lowest place for the convenience of guards. The forage location is here, right? Chen pointed to the map, at Iwagakure's camp. Well. Everyone nodded. Look, there is a lot of rain in the country of rain, and there are many rivers in the country, and Iwagakure's camp is located in the lower reaches of a river. Chen pointed to the map and said lightly, if I am in the upper reaches of the river, use Doden earth style to cut off the river, and then start to store water. When the current accumulated to a certain level, the water was released violently, creating a super flood and flooding the Iwagakure food camp. Chen briefly explained his plan. Can only blame Iwagakure for being too cautious, placing the food and grass in the lowest place in the camp to facilitate protection. As a result, there are loopholes. Hearing what Chen said, everyone in the room became quiet, the air seemed to be pulled away, and everyone became quiet. Chen, this plan of yours. Jiraiya opened her mouth slightly, showing a look of admiration and weirdness. Orochimaru also looked at Chen with a complicated expression, while Kato-dan was completely speechless. Minato said excitedly, Chen, this plan is very powerful. If it can be successful, it will simply flood the Iwagakure camp. We can destroy Iwagakure's food and grass without any effort, and even take advantage of the situation to kill Iwagakure by surprise. Jiraiya twitched the corners of her mouth and nodded silently. The rest of the people also nodded. Minato said something right, but there was a strange atmosphere in the air. Tsunade looked at Chen even more helplessly and smiled bitterly. It seems that I am about to lose. Your strategy is indeed powerful. Once successful, it will change the pattern of the battlefield. Sometimes I really can't figure it out. How did Chen's head grow in such a short time, and he came up with such a plan? Jiraiya said with emotion. He originally just asked casually, but Chen actually came up with a terrible plan. It's just a poison tactic, but it's very effective. Orochimaru said indifferently, and also recognized it. Orochimaru's gaze at Shang-chen changed again, also with deep appreciation, but it also contained a hint of other meanings. Since everyone thinks there is no problem, this plan can be implemented. We need to be ready for everything. Iwagakure is Grandmaster Doden, Earth style, after all, and can control the current, so we need to be well prepared. Chen said lightly. When everyone heard this, their eyes lit up and their hearts were pounding again. Flooded Iwagakure camp is really exciting. Also, ask for a monthly pass, give a reward, take medicine, and the cold is slightly better. To see the underlined version of the novel. 72 wins Tsunade's bet. Reward. Flooded Iwagakure camp is exciting to think about. Everyone present was excited, especially Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru III. Before, the three of them jointly launched a sniper against Iwagakure, but they were unsuccessful. Lesson: Chen is right, there are many masters in Iwagakure village, such as the young genius Lois in Iwagakure village, and his uncle Shiraito, who are all famous people in Iwagakure village, especially Shiraito, who is the blasting team of Iwagakure village captain. The strength is not inferior to us. So don't take it lightly. Orochimaru remained calm and said. Lois, Shiraito Chen was taken aback, this strange name, but it seems to be the style of the name of Iwagakure village. And Chen also knows that Lois is not simple, he is the son of Onoki, the 3-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale. In the 4th Ninja War in the original book, he also served as the captain of the 2nd unit of the Ninja Coalition Army. The very powerful character in the original book is the cage-level powerhouse of Iwagakure village. Of course, the current Lois is only a teenager, he is only 14 years old. Even so, as the son of 3 generations of Tsuchikage, Lois' strength should not be underestimated. In addition, there is another Shiraito that Tatsuya has never heard of. Hearing Orochimaru's tone, he is very jealous of this Shiraito, and this Shiraito is actually the commander-in-chief of Iwagakure village's blasting force, and it is estimated that he is one of the leading figures in Iwagakure village. It didn't appear in the original. As for the 3-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale Onoki from the village of Iwagakure, he did not appear on the battlefield for the time being. Chen nodded. Iwagakure village is very strong. Our plan needs to be more simple and comprehensive. My plan is this. We dispatch 10 elite ninjas of Grandmaster Doden, Earth Style, use Doden, Earth Style, to cut off the water upstream of the river. When the water in the upper reaches of the river is enough, destroy the Doden, Earth Style, and dispatch the ninjas of the Grandmaster Suiten, Water Style, together to create a big flood and flood the Iwagakure. Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru all nodded slightly, agreeing with Chen's proposal. Immortal Six Paths also communicated with Chen in amazement. You brat, I came up with such an idea in a blink of an eye, this time Iwagakure is afraid that I will suffer a big loss. It's really bad luck to be your opponent, you kid has too many tricks. Chenpai pouted. Old man, what is a ghost idea? This is my plan. The Six Paths old man was speechless for a while. As the proposer of the plan, Chen, of course, will direct and formulate the plan. This time the action is actually very simple, and it only needs elite ninjas to complete it. Jiraiya and Orochimaru are both Doden, Earth Style, and Suiten, Water Style. Tsunade's strange power can also help, so Chen easily found a few Konoha elite ninjas, and decided the battle plan this time. Kato Dan also participated in this battle, among the candidates. Act now, the quicker you act, the better for us. Chen said lightly. Well. Tsunade and the others all nodded their heads and handed it all over to Tatsuya. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru all showed great trust in Tatsu. This scene fell in Kato Dan's eyes, which made Kato Dan feel a little bit more in his heart, especially seeing Tsunade and Chen being close, made Kato Dan even more uncomfortable. His eyes always showed hostility inadvertently. Of course Chen also noticed this, squinting his eyes, a cold light flashing in his eyes. It seems that Kato Dan's hostility towards himself is getting bigger and bigger. This Kato Dan, it seems that it will take time to solve the threat. Kato Dan, this is what you asked for. Chen pursed his lips, thinking secretly in his heart. It's not too late, let's get ready now. Tsunade rode. Chen looked at Tsunade and blinked suddenly. Tsunade teacher, I think the plan is not bad, I won our bet. Chen took the initiative to mention the gambling thing. Tsunade was taken aback, and Kato Dan's breath was stagnant, remembering the bet between Tatsu and Tsunade. Chen won Tsunade, but he could make Tsunade promise him anything. Thinking of this, Kato Dan seemed to have a burning jealousy in his heart. Tsunade also conceded defeat very straightforwardly. I lost, what do you want me to do? Tsunade blinked his beautiful eyes, the reflection of Chen clearly printed in his bright eyes. Chen smiled. I haven't thought about it yet, so I owe it first. Good. Tsunade smiled happily. Seeing Tatsu and Tsunade so close, Kato-dan was even more upset. Let's go, let's deal with Iwagakure. I can't wait to see the surprised eyes of those Iwagakure, hee. Jiraiya laughed, suddenly clenched his fists in excitement, fighting spirit high. Obviously, Jiraiya and the others did not take advantage of the battle against Iwagakure before, and they had been holding their breath for a long time. Now they have this opportunity, of course they are looking forward to it. Okay, move on. Chen, as the commander-in-chief this time, even Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Orochimaru had to obey Chen's command, which made Chen feel a little happy. Why doesn't Sannin have to obediently obey the command? It's finally time to face Iwagakure, and Chen is also looking forward to it. Fight against the enemies of the ninja world on the battlefield, and grow the fastest. The most urgent thing he needs now is to improve his strength, and now Chen's strength has reached the elite Jonin, but he also needs to improve faster. Chen took a group of Konoha's masters and rushed to the river in front of the Iwagakure camp. In the sky, and Chen, Tsunade and others galloped all the way, and finally reached the river bank. This is a wide river, nearly 20 meters wide, and the river is rushing and flowing down, passing by the camp of Iwagakure. Such a river, if a flood breaks out, its power is absolutely terrible. In ordinary battlefields, such a river is definitely an important water source and will be strictly guarded against. But it is different in the country of rain. It rains almost all the time in the country of rain, so there is no need to worry about the water source. So the defense of this river is also basically ignored by Iwagakure and no one manages it. This is why Chen proposed this plan. The distance, Chen can also see the Iwagakure camp. I only saw that there is indeed a large camp, which should be able to accommodate 1,000 people. Iwagakure's food and supplies are in the camp. Almost start. All Doden Earth style ninja preparations. Let's cut off the river first and save the river. Chen said lightly. No problem. Orochimaru, Jiraiya and other ninjas all began to prepare ninjutsu. Ask for everything watermelon. Thanks. Phylou remind you. Collection, recommendation, score. 73 flooded Iwagakure. Chen's success. Please support. Only Jiraiya, Orochimaru and others, but Chen also started to prepare hand seal. Chen's chakra attributes also have earth attributes, so he also has Doden Earth style, but he is not so good at Raiden Thunder style, and Kaden Fire style. Doden Earth style, the dirt wall. Chen Feifei quickly hand seal, with a low drink, only to see a huge earth wall rising up, the thick chakra earth wall blocking the water, cutting off part of the water flow of this river. Doden Earth style, the dirt wall. Jiraiya and others also use this Doden Earth style to cut off all the water sources of this river. For a time, the river water was blocked, and the sound of the water flow continued, scouring the soil. At the same time, the water level of the river gradually rose, and the water flow began to accumulate. Using Doden Earth style to block the river, Chen is very satisfied with the effect. Chen, how much water do we need to save to flood Iwagakure's camp and food? Jiraiya asked. It's enough to wait about half an hour, and then we can see a wonderful scene. Chen said lightly. Hearing what Chen said, everyone's eyes lit up, and they were looking forward to the next scene. Water level is gradually rising, and gradually, even Doden Earth style has a tendency to be unable to stop the water flow. It is foreseeable that once the earth flow wall is broken, there will be a super flood brewing. And the Iwagakure camp in the lower reaches of the river, I'm afraid it will be directly submerged by the erupting flood. The river rose higher and higher. Chen Yu nodded and said, almost. Tsunade-sensei used the strange force and the detonating charm to break the earth flow wall, and then we jointly released the sweetened water style waiting for the play. Good. Tsunade readily agreed, and the ninjas began to set up the detonator. Next, Tsunade's figure flashed, her graceful body moved, her strange power showed, and she punched the earth wall. Only a loud bang was heard, a large gap appeared in the earth flow wall, and the earth seemed to tremble. The astonishment in Chen's eyes flashed away. As expected of Princess Tsunade, this strange force is really too terrifying. The earth flow wall was broken, and at the same time the surrounding detonating talisman also exploded, completely blowing the earth flow wall into pieces. The flood is like a wild horse running away, pouring out, galloping. Boom! The rumbling sound of the water is like an earthquake, the river water roars, the water vapor rises, and it is mighty, like a beast, swallowing it towards the Iwagakure camp. Sweden, water style, great waterfall technique. Sweden, water style, water colliding wave. Sweden, water style, run through 5, flow. At the same time, the Sweden, water style, ninjas also seize this opportunity and use jutsu, adding another boost. I only saw the monstrous flood pouring down. However, the surging flood made a loud noise and rushed towards the village of Iwagakure. The power of this flood is really terrifying. Jiraiya felt terrified when she saw it, and sighed in her heart. Chen's plan is really terrible. The clever river and terrain, just relying on more than 10 ninjas, created such a terrible flood. Yeah, even those Iwagakure Grandmaster Doden, Earth style, I'm afraid I'm getting a bargain. Tsunade nodded as well. Seeing this scene was very relieved. She had long wanted to teach these Iwagakure a hard lesson, and when Chen's plan came out, she finally got her wish. Compared with this flood, Chen's plan is more terrifying. Orochimaru shook his head. Sentence made everyone in the room nodded, and their eyes were full of strangeness. Chen came up with this plan after looking at the map for a while. This guy really doesn't know how to describe it. A short period of time, he came up with such a terrible strategy, which made Iwagakure face this terrible flood in an instant. I must never be Chen's enemy in the future, otherwise it will be too scary. Jiraiya shook his head and said, after dealing with Sunagakure and this time, he admired Chen's strategy very much. Chen didn't answer, but when he saw several ninjas beside Jiraiya, they nodded in agreement. As for Kato-dan, I feel more and more unhappy in my heart. Originally, Kato-dan had a high status among the Konoha ninjas, basically second only to Tsunade's 3, but the appearance of Chen greatly reduced his presence. During this time, even the Konoha ninjas mentioned Tatsu's name in most of their discussions. The flood poured down, and bursts of terrifying water waves erupted. No, there is a flood. Great flood. Notify Shiraito-sama, notify everyone. Run, ah. The flood hit. Iwagakure, who was in the camp, finally reacted at this time, screaming in panic, and the Iwagakure camp became a mess. Boom. The flood devoured everything, and in an instant, more than a dozen Iwagakure were washed away by the flood, and the scene was extremely tragic. No, our food, supplies and medical supplies will be washed away by the flood. Everyone use Doden, Earth style, to resist the flood. Don't panic. Such a terrifying flood must have been planned. Let's hurry up and inform Lord Shiraito. Chen and others watched the lively upstream, only to see the flood, which really submerged everything, completely destroyed Iwagakure's camp. The trees were uprooted, and many Iwagakure were caught in the river water before they could react, and were directly washed by the rapids. Go, not even a shadow is left. As for the food of Iwagakure, the same is true for the supply camp. These Iwagakure have no time to defend, and the food and supplies are all washed away. Wherever he went, it was a mess. However, there were also some quick responding Iwagakure at the scene, who quickly used Doden, Earth style, to start blocking the flood. Doden, Earth style, has a strong restraint on water, and these fast-reacting Iwagakure have also been able to save their lives. This was also within Chen's expectations, but Chen didn't expect to destroy all these Iwagakure with a single trick of his own. So relieved, these Iwagakure's food and supplies have really been destroyed, so they can't last long on the battlefield. The surrounding Konoha ninjas were very excited when they saw this scene. Chen also nodded slightly, this time the plan was a complete success. Actually now is also a good opportunity. While the Iwagakure are in a hurry, we should probably take advantage of the fire. Chen lightly suggested. Tsunade and others were all heartbroken, and they actually meant it. To see the underlined version of the novel. 74 I remember you, Uchiha Chen. Please support. Go, let's take the opportunity to attack. Don't miss this good opportunity. Tsunade made a decisive decision and said immediately. Well. The rest of the group had no objection. They all flashed out in a flash, and went to the Iwagakure camp where the flood was raging at the moment. In the Iwagakure camp, there is a lot of wailing. The monstrous flood will make many of them dumbfounded. The food is washed away by the flood, and some Iwagakure are also killed. Flood was fierce, it was too fast, and the Iwagakure responded hastily, so the losses were heavy. Chidori. Chen let out a low voice. Chidori condensed his palms, stabbed out, and killed several Iwagakure in a row. It's Konoha's ninjas. Konoha's ninjas attacked us. This flood must have been caused by Konoha's ninjas. Damn. Iwagakure shouted out loud. These Iwagakure are not stupid. Seeing Chen and others taking advantage of the situation, and thinking of the previous flood, they knew that this incident was the mastermind of Chen and others. Damn. Everyone gather together and fight the flood and Konoha ninjas with Doden, Earth style, with me. At this time, a voice full of energy appeared in the field. It was a tall and burly man, with a square appearance, like a burly man. His brows were furrowed, but he calmly commanded these Iwagakure ninja. Yes, Shiraito-sama. The Iwagakure also responded, seeing this person as if they had a backbone. Shiraito. It turns out that this person is Shiraito, the commander-in-chief of Iwagakure's blasting force, and the strong man of Iwagakure village. The ninjas of Iwagakure gradually recovered their calm under the leadership of Shiraito, and they all began to use Doden, Earth style, to resist the water, because Doden, Earth style, has obvious restraining effect on water flow, so it also achieved good results. Seeing this, Shiraito frowned slightly, then looked at Tsunade, Orochimaru and the others in the field. So you are playing tricks, and you are using the flow of the river to catch us by surprise. Orochimaru, Tsunade, Jiraiya, I admire you all. Shiraito's voice was full of anger, but he had to admit that he suffered a loss. This time Iwagakure suffered a great loss, although the casualties were not too many. But the food, supplies, and camp were all washed away by the flood. This is not our plan, but the credit of my disciple Uchiha-chan. Tsunade looked at Chen with a proud expression on his face. Shiraito was stunned for a moment, looking up and down. Chen, unable to hide his surprise. It's this boy. Shiraito couldn't believe how he left his Iwagakure camp in a mess, and it was a boy like this who was almost completely destroyed. Wait, Uchiha-chen, the name seems to be, Uncle, this Uchiha-chen. It seems that the last time Sunagakure defeated the elite Jonin. The one, Konoha genius. Besides Shiraito, there is a slightly chubby figure. A somewhat simple and honest boy said. Chen recognized the identity of this young man at a glance, Lois of Iwagakure village. The son of Onoki, the 3-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale. It turned out to be him. Shiraito also finally recorded the information of Chen. Originally, a high-level Iwagakure like him didn't care much about a teenager, but everything in front of him shocked Shiraito's heart. However, it was this young man's single-handed plan, as expected of a person who could force Sunagakure Chiyo back. Uchiha-chen of Konoha, I remember you. Shiraito bit Kiba and said, this time he suffered a big loss, to be so embarrassed by a young man's scheme, which made him deeply remember Chen. Shiraito sighed. I didn't expect that Konoha really has such a young talent. Whether it is strength or brains, it is the best choice. This time I was negligent and lost. Award. Chen said lightly. This time, Tatsu's strategy is really beautiful. A few people joined forces, but they directly destroyed Iwagakure's camp. It was a perfect attack. The Iwagakure ninjas looked at Chen with anger and fear. HMPH, your tactics are powerful, but Iwagakure village, are not that easy to deal with, so prepare to attack. Shiraito bites Kiba and directs the surrounding Iwagakure to attack. There are more than 1,000 people in Iwagakure around this camp. Although not all of them have gathered at this time, there are nearly 100 people, which is a considerable force. Uncle, I just happen to be able to learn the power of Konoha Rising Star, let me deal with Uchiha Chen. At this time, Lois, who was beside Shiraito, took the initiative to ask Ying to deal with Tatsu. Good. To you to deal with it, be careful. Shiraito nodded after a moment of hesitation, and he was also assured of Lois's strength. Lois is 4 or 5 years older than Chen, and his strength is even better. He is the first genius of the younger generation of Iwagakure village, and the son of 3 generations of Tsuchikage, with a bright future. Uchiha Chen, you are the genius of Konoha, and Lois is also the genius of my Iwagakure village. Iwagakure village recognizes that the young man who is most likely to inherit the position of Tsuchikage in the future. I will let Lois deal with you and see how strong you are. Shiraito wanted to take action against Chen himself, but Tsunade and the 3 were all staring at him, so he had no choice but to give up. Lois. Chen's eyes gradually became serious. Lois is indeed an opponent that cannot be underestimated. The first genius of the younger generation of Iwagakure village, he is also the son of the 3rd generation of Tsuchikage, and the captain of the 2nd unit of the ninja coalition in the original novel in the future. Chen's eyes were serious, and Lois was also solemn. Although he was several years older than Chen, he didn't have the slightest sense of superiority, because he knew very well that the young man in front of him was absolutely amazing. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru and others are part of Shiraito and the rest of the Iwagakure village ninja, and a battle is about to break out. And Chen is facing Lois. The first talent of the younger generation of Konoha, the first talent of Iwagakure, the 2 finally collided. Whoosh! Chen and Lois looked at each other and shot almost at the same time. Hand seal was completed in an instant, and he was preparing for ninjutsu at the same time. Let me introduce Lois. He is the son of Onoki, the 3-generation Tsuchikage 2-day scale, and the father of the next 4 generations of Tsuchikage Kuretsuchi. Once punched the golden horn of Kyubi, 9 tails. In the 4th Ninja War, Lois served as the captain of the 2nd unit of the Ninja Coalition, and the captain of the 4th unit was Gaara, and Lois was very strong. 75 Genius Battle, Chen vs Lois. Ask for monthly pass. Yongdun, Chidori. Chen's body moved, Yongdun's chakra injected into ninjutsu, and Yongdun's nature transformation was added to Raiden Thunder style. At this moment, Chidori appeared with a hint of gold mixed with it. Golden Chidori. Chidori has become stronger due to the effect of Yongdun, and has both Yongdun and Raiden Thunder style attributes. Golden thunder and lightning burst out, chirping sound. Lightning exploded, stabbing towards Lois, as fast as lightning, and Chen approached Lois in a blink of an eye. Lois is also very quick. Doden Earth style, Super Earth Flow River. Only seeing the chakra condensed around Lois, he quickly hand seal, and then launched this ninjutsu. Doden Earth style, Super Earth Flow River. It is also a ninjutsu, an enhanced version of Earth Flow River, very powerful. I only saw that the soil in front of Chen suddenly changed, turning into a liquid soil flow, forming a strong shock wave, to wash away Chen. As expected of a genius from Iwagakure village, you actually thought of using this method to stop my attack. Chen squinted his eyes. Lois is not easy to deal with, and he is also very skilled with the master of Doden, Earth style, no wonder he is called the strongest genius in Iwagakure village. The Super Earth Flow River will directly wash away, and at this time, Chen's body also bursts into a mass of water. The art of water doubles. It turns out that you are not only Grandmaster Kaden, Fire style, and Raiden Thunder style, but also Suiden, Water style. Lois' face was solemn, and he felt that Chen was not easy to deal with, and Chen also easily blocked the blow with the water substitute technique. Blinking technique. After Chen used the avatar technique to resist Lois' blow, he took aim at this opportunity and decisively used the instant body technique, only to see his body flickering and flashing to the place where Chen wanted to attack. Chen's body suddenly appeared behind Lois. The golden Chidori light in his palm reappeared, showing a dazzling golden color. Chen stabbed away at Lois. Slightly stunned, he subconsciously turned his eyes to Chen. The ninjutsu used by this guy is really eye-catching. The thunder and lightning are mixed with gold. The power of the thunder is also heart-pounding. It is definitely a terrible enemy. Golden Thunderbolt. I have never seen Chen use this ninjutsu. Is it some kind of nature transformation? Tsunade, Jiraiya 3 all secretly thought in their hearts, and they were also full of admiration. I have to say that after joining Yongdun, all of Chen's ninjutsu will have a faint golden color, which is particularly eye-catching. Of course, the power is also greatly increased. Ha! Chidori's light exploded, and Chen directly penetrated Lois' body. Lord Lois. No way, impossible. The ninjas of Iwagakure were all tense, and they all shouted loudly at this scene, feeling unbelievable. Lois' strength is recognized as strong, above the ordinary elite Jonin, and even close to the peak Jonin. However, after Chen penetrated through Lois' body, he narrowed his eyes, and the vigilance in his eyes did not disappear at all. Only to see Lois' body gradually turned into a dry and cracked soil, and finally shattered in front of Chen. It's the art of earth substitutes, as expected of Iwagakure's genius. Chen said lightly. Lois used a soil double to escape at the end, a very smart choice, and it is enough to prove that Lois' fighting talent is also very good. Boy, the Iwagakure ninja in front of me is not simple. It seems that he is really a powerful ninja in Iwagakure village. Well, although his talent is inferior to yours, he is also very good. Years older than you, no matter what. Strength and experience have advantages. The voice of the Six Paths Immortal resounded in Chen's heart. Well, I know, old man. Of course Chen is very clear. After the fight just now, Chen quickly judged that Lois is not easy. Hey, did the boy finally meet an opponent? Since your master Yongdun's nature transformation, the ordinary elite Jonin is no longer your opponent, and you need such an opponent to sharpen yourself. Six Paths old man said. Chen nodded, his eyes became more and more serious. Of course, he won't have any underestimation for a character like Lois. Never underestimate any opponent, so as not to make mistakes, to have the last laugh. After Lois used the soil substitute, the body disappeared. Trace of Lois around the battlefield, and Chen did not detect it using Sharingan, but felt a chakra flowing underground, and immediately understood where Lois was hiding. Are you hiding in the ground? If it's an ordinary person, there's nothing you can do, but it's a pity that it was me. Chen said indifferently. The blue thunderbolt appeared in the palm of his hand, and he didn't use the golden thunderbolt. After all, Yongdun wasted too much chakra. Chidori Current. Chidori Current 2 style used by Chen can shoot lightning into the ground and attack. Lois immediately sensed something was wrong, and immediately Hand Seal shouted, Doden Earth style, the art of rock fist. I saw a huge rock palm emerge from the soil, hit Chen hard, and attack Chen. Boom! With a loud bang, Chidori Current smashed the rock fist. Big chunks of rock fell and smashed around, and Lois took the opportunity to get rid of it. Lois took a breath and looked at Chen with jealousy. He wanted to hide in the ground and attack, but Chen noticed it. He sighed with emotion. Is this the role of Sharingan? Can you observe the changes in chakra? It's really hard to find traces of the enemy. Iwagakure and Konoha ninja next to them both saw this scene, and they all sighed with emotion. They all had an idea in their hearts. This battle was really exciting. The two fought each other several times, and every attack was very strong. Whether it is combat awareness or combat skills, they are absolutely top-notch, making people wonder if these are really two teenagers, which makes most of the ninjas in the field feel ashamed. You're not bad, you have always been able to deal with it calmly, but I won't let you take it so easily. Chen said lightly, the Lois in front of him can be said to be the strongest opponent he has ever encountered, no matter what. Whether it is strength or skill, it is the best choice. It is worthy of being a powerful character in the original book, and it is also worthy of being the son of the 3-generation Tsuchikage to-day scale Onoki. However, even so, Chen is not afraid. Ask for a subscription, ask for a monthly pass, ask for an automatic watermelon thank you. To see the underlined version of the novel. 76 This boy is too scary. Please subscribe. Lois didn't speak, but his expression gradually became serious. He originally thought that although Chen was strong, his win rate was still higher. After all, he was 4 or 5 years older than Chen. Learning ninjutsu, his current strength is close to the peak of Jonin, but who would have thought that Shengchen has no certainty of victory? Demonic illusion, art of darkness. Chen moved his hands, and Hand Seal took the initiative to launch demonic illusion. Darkness, the powerful demonic illusion that can deprive the opponent's vision, let Chen use it again. Demonic illusion, and a high-level demonic illusion that deprives vision. Lois woke up instantly and was shocked. He knew that Chen was from the Uchiha family, and he was sure of the Grandmaster demonic illusion, so he always avoided looking at Chen's eyes, but he was still caught in demonic illusion, and it was the technique of darkness. Advanced demonic illusion. The power of demonic illusion is self-evident, not to mention this demonic illusion was once the unique demonic illusion of the Senju family. No, now my vision is blocked, and there is great danger. Lois groaned in his heart, the current situation was not good for him. If you are caught in the dark line, you will easily fall into the disadvantage, which will be dangerous. Lois is in a hurry, and suddenly a flash of inspiration, Hand Seal shouted, Doden Earth style, there is no dungeon. Doden Earth style, there is no dungeon. This is also a Doden Earth style ninjutsu, very powerful. The main function is to create a dungeon to surround the opponent. This ninjutsu is different from ordinary ninjutsu. Even if the opponent attacks the dungeon, it will recover quickly, and it can also absorb the opponent's chakra. And the object of Lois using the dungeon is not Chen, but himself. I only saw Lois defending himself with the dungeon. He was in the dungeon, and used the defense of the dungeon to resist Chen's next attack. It's really troublesome. Chen frowned. Lois is very smart, far stronger than Minako. He actually thought of such a method at a critical moment, using the dungeon to protect himself. Although his vision was deprived, he had the ability to defend himself. Chen squinted his eyes, kept holding his hands, and threw more than a dozen kunai directly, with a detonating talisman tied to the kunai. Boom! The detonator exploded, blasting a small gap in the dungeon, but the dungeon quickly recovered. I never imagined that the first genius of the dignified Iwagakure village would shrink in the dungeon and dare not come out. Chen shook his head and said lightly. Iwagakure next to them were also a little surprised when they saw this scene. They all knew that Chen had just used a very powerful demonic illusion, which forced Lois to defend. Now it seems that the situation in the field is completely dominated by Chen, and Lois only has the advantage. It can be temporarily defended. It can be said that Chen used demonic illusion to suppress Lois, and gradually grasped the advantage of the battle situation. Chen subconsciously glanced at the battlefield. The elite ninjas of Hand, Jiraiya, Orochimaru and Konoha were all working together to fight against Iwagakure and Shiraito. Due to the large number of Iwagakure, the people were still a little bit tired. Compared with Chen's advantage, Tsunade and others did not take advantage of it. Iwagakure village's ninja strength is much stronger than attacking. It's no wonder that Sunagakure's elite troops were all in the country of rain when they attacked Sunagakure village. And the Iwagakure in front of me are real elites. Chen secretly said in his heart, and immediately knew the reason. Let's deal with Lois first. His mind changed, a cold smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Lois thought that if he created a dungeon, he would have nothing to do with him. Really? Raiden Thunder Style, Thunder Tiger Kill. Chen used Raiden Thunder Style again. Chen used Raiden Thunder Style attacks almost all the time when he fought against Lois, The reason is very simple. Raiden Thunder style has a strong restraint effect on Doden Earth style. Sasuke and Deidara used Raiden Thunder style to restrain Deidara very badly during the battle. Concentrate chakra in the palm of your hand to form a Raikiri and create a dog. The Thunder Dog was about 1 meter tall and moved quickly. Only when the Thunder Dog roared, it rushed out and rushed towards the dungeon, forming a strong attack force and attacking the dungeon. Boom! I only heard with a loud bang. The dungeon was smashed by Chen, and the Thunder Dog still had enough power to bite at Lois under Chen's manipulation. Doden Earth style petrified. Lois also yelled and used another Doden Earth style ninjutsu. Doden Earth style petrification can turn the whole body or body parts into petrified form, become larger, and become very hard. The Thunder Dog attacked, and Lois' body was blocked with petrification, and he heard another loud bang. The ground trembled violently, and the tension in the air spread. Chen only saw that Lois' body was covered by lightning. He coughed, a small mouthful of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, obviously injured. Even though he used petrification to strengthen his defense, he was still injured. My body is paralyzed by lightning. Damn, it is indeed a genius of the Uchiha family. Under his attack with Raiden Thunder style, my Doden Earth style is at a disadvantage. Lois whispered to himself. However, I may not necessarily lose, and ninjutsu is useless. Lois' eyes flashed, and he was ready to use ninjutsu. Chen also did not relax at all, although from the current situation, it seemed that he was suppressing Lois, but Lois definitely still had a whole card that was not used. Iwagakure ninjas who were watching Chen and Lois' battle were already stunned. They never thought that Chen would force Lois to such an extent, and from the perspective of the situation, it was obvious that Chen had the advantage. Of course, Lois obviously still has spare strength. At least he hasn't used a powerful ultimate move so far, and the real result of this battle is still uncertain. However, in the eyes of all Iwagakure, it is the current battle. Chen is actually holding Lois's head steadily, and he has the upper hand. This scene fell in the eyes of the Iwagakure ninja. I can't believe it. Lois is the strongest among the younger generation in the Iwagakure village, and he can't even win against the boy from the Uchiha family in front of him. This boy must be too scary. The Iwagakure's spines are all shining, and they are extremely shocked. Chen looked calm and was about to continue to use ninjutsu, when Jiraiya's voice came. Chen, we are ready to retreat. There are more and more ninjas in Iwagakure village, and we can't continue fighting. Jiraiya reminded Chen. The second update. 77 The end of the dominant position. Please subscribe. Chen glanced around and found that it was indeed the case. After the panic after the Great Flood just now, the ninjas in Iwagakure village gradually recovered from their panic, and there were more and more Iwagakure in the field. If it continues like this, the result is really hard to say. Why Jiraiya said the words to evacuate. Got it. Chen said lightly, then looked at Lois, and said with some regret, the first genius of Iwagakure village is indeed extraordinary, but unfortunately there is no time to fight. Lois is strong, no doubt about that. Lois must also have the trick of pressing the bottom of the box that has not been used, so Chen Kai is a little regretful. Against Lois, let Chen fight against the geniuses of the same generation, and progress rapidly. Huh. Lois snorted softly, and he was also a little unwilling. Chen's Raiden Thunder style has a lot of restraint on Doden Earth style, and Chen himself has Grandmaster Ninjutsu and Grandmaster Demonic Illusion. It is really troublesome to deal with him. In fact, purely in terms of strength, Lois is definitely not inferior to Chen, but just now he was suppressed by Chen, which made him very unwilling and annoyed. He was still ready to fight back, but it looked like Chen was about to retreat. Doden Earth style added weight rock technique. Lois was very unconvinced. He quickly hand seal, and then shouted out, using the added weight rock technique. The added weight rock technique is one of the very powerful Doden Earth style ninjutsu, and is also the fame of 3 generations of Tsuchikage stunt. Now it looks like Lois will use it too. The added weight rock technique has many uses. In the original work, Tsuchikage used this trick to petrify the surrounding enemies and turn them into rocks. Can also be used to increase gravity. Added weight rock technique is one of Lois' tricks. I only saw that all around Lois turned into a large pile of rocks, cracked open, and at the same time quickly spread towards Chen. When this ninjutsu was about to spread to Chen's body suddenly turned into crows and dissipated. This is the crow clone that Tatsuya has prepared. It's demonic illusion again. Lois shook his head, only to think that Chen was really too difficult to deal with. Chen was afraid that he had also used the crow clone to prevent accidents when he released the dark line technique, and it was the crow clone that he attacked. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Chen's body instantly retreated, his figure was elegant, and he was tens of meters away in an instant, leaving the battlefield. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Orochimaru and other Konoha ninjas also quickly retreated, and they were all ready to evacuate. Chen, your movements are fast. Tsunade sighed in admiration, then looked at Lois with blood spilling from the corner of his mouth, a hint of surprise in his beautiful eyes. Chen versus Lois, and from the current situation, he also has an advantage. How could Tsunade not be surprised? Tsunade also knew Lois' reputation. He was an outstanding junior, but he couldn't get any advantage in Chen's hands. The strength of his own disciple really improved rapidly, getting stronger and stronger. And the golden thunderbolt just now, full of mystery and power, retreat, leave quickly. Orochimaru's voice came, he moved, chakra surging hand seal, the art of psychic, triple Rashomon. Nie Rashomon, only see the ground in front of them rising in vain. The 10-meter-high giant gate is engraved with the patterns of Shira, Rakshasa, and evil ghosts, which is majestic and terrifying. In myths and legends, Rashomon is a mysterious gate leading to life and death. It is extremely strong and there are many images symbolizing death on the gate. Orochimaru channeled out of the triple Rashomon, and also used Rashomon to stop the delaying Iwagakure's attack. With the obstruction of Rashomon, Chen and the others were finally able to evacuate calmly. Chen and others left with all their strength, galloping all the way, and got rid of Iwagakure's attack on the way. Under the leadership of Shiraito and Lois, Iwagakure launched a chase, but was gradually thrown away by Chen and others, and they finally gave up and retreated in despair. After this battle, Iwagakure's camp was almost completely destroyed by the flood, and without food and supplies, Iwagakure did not dare to go deeper into the war, and could only focus on defense, so they did not dare to send a large number of people to hunt down Chen and others. 2 days later, Tatsu and the others, who had been traveling in a row, finally returned to Konoha's stronghold. In Konoha's stronghold camp, Chen ate some dry food to regain his strength, and then carefully recalled the battle with Lois, which he also benefited a lot. He thought carefully about every detail of the battle to strengthen himself. Boy, you have grown a lot. Your strength now surpasses that of the average elite Jonin, and you are beginning to move towards the peak of Jonin. The 6 paths old man applauded. When Chen gradually mastered Yongdun nature transformation, Chen's strength has already moved towards the peak of Jonin. Well, the speed of progress is not bad. Chen rode. What do you mean by the speed of your progress? The old man is simply amazed. The 6 paths old man said angrily, it is rare for others to make progress for half a month in a year. This guy is still not satisfied, and he is really not satisfied. In the camp, Tsunade, Orochimaru, Jiraiya and others all sat together. Tsunade's beautiful face couldn't contain the excitement. This time the plan was a great success. We completely destroyed Iwagakure's camp, and their food and supplies were all gone. Now, we will have the most active advantage on the battlefield from now on. Well, thanks to Chen's strategy, we have achieved such success. Jiraiya kept nodding in approval. It's just good luck, but Iwagakure's ninja responded very well. We didn't take advantage of it. It's a pity that we didn't take the opportunity to make a fortune. Chen said lightly. You still want to make a fortune. You can fight Lois and gain the upper hand. Chen, you are beyond my expectations. Tsunade patted Chen's shoulder and sighed softly. Everyone nodded, and their eyes were a bit amazed, a little complicated. In this battle, Chen actually suppressed Iwagaker's strongest young talent, Lois, which is really surprising. After this battle, Chen, your name will definitely be louder, and it will even affect the entire battlefield of the Rain Country. Tsunade said with a smile. The third update, in the conditioning of the body, I hope everyone will forgive me, and there will be more updates in the near future. Thank you for reading the underlined version of the novel. 78 Battlefields in the Land of Rain. One change in the morning, please subscribe. In this battle, Chen and others achieved brilliant results. Iwagaker's camp in the Land of Rain was destroyed, supplies and food were all destroyed. Although Iwagaker suffered fewer casualties, the results were really brilliant. You must know that Iwagaker and Konoha have been in a confrontation for too long before, and even Tsunade and Orochimaru three-shot together, and they could not gain an advantage against Iwagaker. However, as soon as Tatsuya's plan came out, Iwagaker now suffered heavy losses. Not only that, Tatsuya fought against Lois and gained the upper hand. This is what surprised Tsunade and others the most. Needless to say, Lois's reputation as a genius in Iwagaker is of course. The most important thing is that Lois is 4 or 5 years older than Chen, and he practiced ninjutsu earlier. Even in such a situation, Chen still had the advantage, which surprised Tsunade and others. Actually, it's just an advantage. Lois is also very strong. He must have a killer move that's useless. Chen smiled and said lightly. Lois is very strong, and Chen just has the advantage. He didn't really win against Lois, so Chen is not proud. This scene fell in the eyes of Tsunade and others, making Juchen more calm and powerful. This kind of indifference is really rare. What we led thousands of ninja elites did not do, but was easily done by your plan. From today on the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain, you will definitely hear your name often. Jiraiya smiled and agreed with Tsunade's words. Chen smiled, but he did not deny it. Soon, Tatsumazu Iwagaker's strategy spread all over the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain. After capturing Sasori and forcing Chiyo's troops back, Tatsu's name resounded in the Kingdom of Rain again. But this time, Chen's fame spread even more loudly. More and more people know that Konoha has a young genius named Uchiha Chen, who not only forced back Sunagaku's first puppet master Chiyo, but now uses the river to flood Iwagaker. And the most famous genius in Iwagaker village, Lois, has the advantage. Everything in this is shocking and surprising, everything is eye-catching, but it is actually completed by the same person, and what is even more surprising is that this person is still a teenager. Many people can't help but sound Chiyo's evaluation of Chen, Konoha's rising star. Now it seems that Chiyo's words are really not bad at all. Chen's light is now as dazzling as a star. There is no doubt about this, because Chen's strategy, he almost reversed the current war situation between Konoha and Iwagaker, and the balance of war is gradually tilted towards Konoha. All in all, if Chen was only famous when he forced Chiyo back, then Chen is now the battlefield of the Land of Rain. Almost as long as the Konoha ninja on the battlefield is mentioned, everyone will think of such a young genius in Konoha. Chen is still in a good mood for accidentally swiping his reputation again. In any case, fame is also a matter for him now, and although it may occasionally cause trouble, the overall advantages must outweigh the disadvantages. With the gradual rise of Chen's reputation, Chen-Fa's attitude towards him is even more different. Kato-dan. Kato-dan has been very depressed recently. After the two battles between Sunagaku and Iwagaker, Chen's reputation is getting bigger and bigger. In the hearts of Konoha ninjas, Chen's status is almost inferior, and he is Kato-dan's. Names are being mentioned less and less. The most important thing is that Tatsu and Tsunade are getting closer and closer, which makes Kato-dan feel more and more uncomfortable when he sees it, and his jealousy burns like a spark of fire. Of course Chen also noticed this, and in his heart he had already sentenced Kato-dan to death. Going to find a chance to get rid of this threat, Chen doesn't like the feeling of being missed by the enemy. Chen, how does it feel to be famous on the battlefield? Namikaze Minato came at this time, looked at Chen with envy, and asked with a smile. This time, Namikaze Minato did not participate in the battle, because Namikaze Minato was slightly weaker. Chen shrugged. It's nothing special, it's the same as before. No, you are now called by many the strongest genius among the younger generation of Konoha, the pride of Uchiha. Namikaze Minato said with emotion. Chen smiled lightly. It's just comments from the outside world. Once you behave unsatisfactorily, these comments can be turned around immediately, and you won't have time to cry. That's right, but the speed of your progress is terrible. I heard that Lois of Iwagakure is a super genius, and I don't know when I will have the chance to play against such a genius. Minato was still a little envious. During this period of time, Minato's progress was also very fast, especially after learning Hiraishin. Minato was able to deal with Jonin alone. But compared to Chen, it is nothing compared to the truth. Minato is very resentful about this. God knows how Chen practiced, how fast he progressed, and he has a golden Kaden, fire style. If you want to fight with Lois, you might as well fight me first. Chen shrugged. Minato's face changed, and he muttered, that's fine. Fighting with you is just looking for abuse. What are you talking about? At this time, Tsunade came out dressed in casual clothes, showing a beautiful and perfect figure. Her hair was wet, as if she had just taken a shower. She patted Chen's shoulder intimately, and stood beside Chen. Skin is like jade, the eyes are bright and the teeth are bright, and a pair of beautiful eyes staring at Chen, make Chen do feel extremely beautiful. Looking at Tsunade, Chen's eyes moved suddenly and said, Tsunade-sensei, why didn't we come and practice against each other? The battle practice Chen has made great progress recently. According to the old man of six paths, he has surpassed the average elite Jonin and started to move towards the peak of Jonin. Originally, Chen wanted to practice against Minato, but Minato is a little weaker, so it must be a good choice to have a strong person like Tsunade to guide him. Okay. Tsunade hesitated for a moment and then readily agreed. Chen was overjoyed. Having a beautiful woman like Tsunade sparring with him was much more comfortable than facing Minato's face. Minato looked at Chen and Tsunade with resentment on the side, and muttered in his heart that Chen was really happy, and there was a beautiful teacher to accompany him, but his teacher, Jiraiya, was a lecher. Kato-dan looked at the back of Chen and Tsunade, and his expression became even more serious. Gloomy. The early morning, please subscribe, ask for a reward, and 79 Conan's paper escape, Chen's progress. Ask for a monthly pass. Tatsu and Tsunade are fighting on the side, and Tatsu is also familiar with ninjutsu. Now Tatsu's ninjutsu is mainly Kaden, fire style, and Raiden, thunder style, and in the environment of Rain Country, Tatsu uses Raiden, thunder style, more, so when fighting Tsunade, he mainly uses it. Raiden, thunder style. Raiden, thunder style, Reikiri. Chen condenses the thunder and lightning into the palm of his hand and conducts a powerful attack. The stabbing thunder and lightning create a strong penetrating power. In the original book, this trick is Kakashi's famous stunt. It is said that Kakashi once cut off the thunder and lightning, hence the name. Reikiri is an improved version of Chidori, more powerful than Chidori. Seeing Reikiri, Tsunade couldn't help but stun slightly. Raiden thunder style ninjutsu, which is stronger than the previous. Chidori has strong thrust and penetration. With deep admiration in Tsunade's eyes, Chen is indeed one of the most powerful geniuses she has ever seen. Magic. Tsunade saw Chen Mo rushing with Reikiri, and he punched the ground. This punch directly smashed the ground into a huge hole. The ground was completely cracked, and the soil all shattered and collapsed. Chen moved and avoided this attack, but he also had some lingering fears. Tsunade's strange power is really terrifying. As long as you get hit once, you will be seriously injured even if you don't die. The earth with a radius of more than 10 meters was cracked, and even Chen felt an overwhelming pressure. In such a state, it is very difficult to fight Tsunade up close. Shuriken Art. Chen used his ninja tools to shoot out more than a dozen shuriken in a row, including a wind demon shuriken. Shuriken collided with each other, colliding with a strange arc, and the shuriken came from all directions, blocking all paths of Tsunade. Compared with the last time, the technique of shuriken has become stronger again. Chen, your progress is very fast. There was a hint of surprise in Tsunade's eyes. Bright color, sighed softly. Facing the shuriken coming from all directions, Tsunade used the chakra scalpel, spinning his body quickly, and shot down all the shuriken. The two attacked each other with one attack and one defense, and Chen grew up quickly in the battle with Tsunade. To Tsunade's surprise, in almost every battle, Chen will soon make new progress, and the degree of progress is not small. This made Tsunade even more stunned, secretly feeling Chen's fighting talent. What makes Tsunade more satisfied is Chen's perseverance. Almost every time, he ends his practice until the chakra is exhausted. This is the case every time. Under such circumstances, Chen's growth is also natural. I'm afraid it won't take too long. Chen, your strength will be able to catch up to the top. Peep Jonin. Tsunade chuckled lightly and said with a wink. Or because you 10 practice with me. Chen smiled. Tsunade chuckled and nodded. She couldn't be more satisfied with the disciple in front of her. She was unparalleled in wisdom, and she was extremely proud of her talent. Looking at Tsunade's smiling face, Chen's heart moved. The two had just fought each other. At this time, Tsunade's whole body was also soaked in sweat. The beautiful lines of the whole body were outlined. Couldn't help but be a little lost. The days of the war passed quickly. Several months, time passed, and Chen is now 10 years old. Ninjas are generally relatively precocious, and when Chen sees the beauty of this scene in front of him, it is also a little bit. What are you looking at? Tsunade noticed Tatsu's gaze. His heart skipped a beat, and he said lightly, pretending to be casual. Fortunately, Chen's face is thicker. Teacher is so beautiful, I was distracted for a while. Tsunade heard the words and couldn't help but be overjoyed. He was a little overjoyed when he was praised by Chen. However, Tsunade said, I knew from a young age to be slick, I'm wrong, I'm telling the truth. Chen rode. Who believes you? I'm afraid the little girl you brought back said the same thing. Tsunade rode. Tsunade is referring to Conan. Tsunade has also seen Conan, that's why he said that. Chen was speechless for a moment. However, Chen didn't notice that Tsunade's ears were slightly yuhi-colored, and her beautiful eyes were also a little happy. By the way, the little girl you brought back seems to be very talented, but Jiraiya likes her quite a bit. Tsunade rode. Is it? Chen's heart moved. It seems that Conan and Jiraiya really have a lot of fate. In the original book, the three Conan three are Jiraiya's disciples. Yes, Jiraiya seems to be teaching that little girl some basic ninjutsu. Why didn't we take a look? Go. Chen is interested. Chen and Tsunade walked to the training ground and saw that Jiraiya was teaching Conan some basic ninjutsu. Brother Chen. He saw Chen. Conan's eyes lit up, as if he had discovered a gem. He ran to Chen's side excitedly, and hugged Chen's arm affectionately. He saw Chen. Conan was very affectionate and smiled sweetly. Conan now regards Chen as the closest person, so when he sees Chen, he has such a big reaction. Jiraiya sighed helplessly on the side. He was teaching Conan some basic ninjutsu recently, but he didn't see Conan getting close to him. Instead he smiled sweetly when he saw Chen. Conan, I've been learning ninjutsu lately. Chen touched Conan's head and smiled. Well, I must learn ninjutsu well, and I can help Brother Chen to deal with the enemy in the future. Conan held a small fist and said sweetly. After being with Chen for this period of time, Conan is no longer timid, but has become more lively. Of course, this liveliness is only limited to Chen alone, and Conan is still very rusty in front of others. Even Jiraiya, who teaches Conan ninjutsu, Conan is just an ordinary communication with Jiraiya. Only when facing Tatsu will he show a relaxed and lively side. Conan's talent is very good. You brought back a good seedling, especially Conan seems to be very interested in folding 50% paper. I have experienced it in the ninja world, and I have been exposed to a secret technique, using chakra to transform paper as an attack method. May be suitable for Conan to study. Quote. Jiraiya wrote. The secret art, the method of using paper. Chen's eyes lit up. Conan's paper secret art. This is Conan's signature skill in the original book. Well, when Conan gets older, I can teach him. Jiraiya laughed. Chen nodded without hesitation. With Conan's current attachment to Chen, Conan will definitely be Chen's right-hand man in the future, and it would be good to improve Conan's strength. 80 Chen's Leisurely Life. Please subscribe. Ever since Chen rescued Conan, Conan has almost regarded Chen as the person he relies on the most, and even exists like a belief. So Jiraiya taught Conan ninjutsu, and the happiest is actually Chen. The stronger Conan is, the more beneficial it is to Chen. Chen rubbed Conan's head. Conan's small face immediately changed. Yuhi fluttered like a kitten in Chen's arms. Seeing this scene, Tsunade inadvertently frowned slightly, and there was a feeling in her heart that she didn't even notice. Conan, don't be too tiring in your usual training, you can't be in a hurry to learn ninjutsu. Chen rode. Well, I know. Conan held his small hand and promised with his mouth, but in his heart he made up his mind that he must quickly become powerful, so that he would have a chance to help brother Chen. No matter what method is used, be sure to get stronger quickly so that it won't be a drag on him. Conan thought to himself. In the base these days, she also heard a lot of Konoha ninjas discussing Chen's affairs, and learned about Chen's deeds. The little girl has always admired Chen very much, not to mention now. Pinching Conan's face, a faint smile appeared on the corner of Chen's mouth. Let's practice here today. The news that you have made a great contribution this time has spread to the village, and the 3 generations of Lord Hokage appreciate you very much. Jiraiya smiled and said, I received a letter from Mr. Sarutobi, and he is full of praise for your strategy this time. As a disciple of the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi, Jiraiya and the 3 generations of Hokage exchange messages frequently. 3 generations of Hokage's praise. Chen curled his lips. It seems that the 3 generations of Hokage are very concerned about himself, but also, he is so obviously, reputation, on the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain, it is strange that he has not paid attention. Thank you 3 generations. Chen rode. Well, this time your reputation spread all over the Konoha village. Both the Uchiha family and Konoha regard you as a hero. I heard that Kushina, Uchiha Makoto, Akamichi Choza and others are proud of you. Tsunade is also smiling. Mentioning Kushina, Makoto and others, Chen's eyes softened slightly, and he also showed a smile. Chen gradually became famous and rose to prominence on the battlefield of the Land of Rain, and also let Kushina and others know his reputation in Konoha village, which shows how loud Chen is now. You are now a veritable rising star of Konoha, congratulations. Tsunade smiled and patted Chen's shoulder. Chen shrugged. Even Konoha knew about his record on the battlefield. It seemed that his reputation was growing, but the benefits were obvious. Chen's reputation has grown so much that even high-level Konoha leaders like Sandezo should not pay attention to him, especially Danzo, who must not dare to make small moves easily. After chatting with Tsunade, Conan returned to his temporary residence. It's tiring to play against Tsunade all day. Chen casually threw the ninja tools and weapons aside, and then lay directly on the side, closing his eyes slightly. Brother Chen, is you tired? Conan's soft voice came. Chen turned back, and saw Conan's signature light purple-blue hair. The current Conan is not a refugee, looks like a pink and jade, very cute. Well, for one thing, I have been strengthening my practice during this time. Chen rode. Conan nodded obediently, but Chen didn't care, but suddenly felt an unusually soft pair. Soft hands squeezed his shoulders and massaged him. Conan, you actually know how to massage. Chen was a little surprised. No, I just saw that, brother Chen, you are too tired. Conan looked a little uncomfortable by Chen, bowed his head slightly, and Yuhi dizzy floated on his face. Was a smile on the corner of Chen's mouth, only to feel that the fatigue suddenly subsided a lot, and the mood was relaxed. With this lovely little girl massaging herself, coupled with Tsunade Princess Tenten sparring, her reputation has risen on the battlefield of the Land of Rain. Such a day is truly a fairy. Well, press, good, continue. Chen was enjoying it with peace of mind and half closed his eyes. Chen looked at Conan's slightly immature face, and couldn't help laughing inwardly. Who would have thought that in Hokage, Akatsuki's always aloof angel would be obediently giving him a massage when Conan is now in front of him. Cute and cute. This treatment is not something that ordinary people can enjoy. Seeing Conan being cold in front of others, but being so well behaved and lovely to himself, this scenery that can only be enjoyed by him alone makes Chen feel satisfied. Brother Chen, let me boil water for you to take a bath. Brother Chen, I'll heat up the food, and you can eat it later. Brother Chen. Although Conan is young, she is very good at taking care of people. She takes the initiative to take care of everything, so that Chen doesn't have to do anything. Chen couldn't help but sigh, with Conan here, I'm so much more relaxed. Chen smiled and pinched Conan's nose. Being praised by Chen, Conan's eyes are curved like the moon Kiba. Chen comfortably took a hot bath, and then finished his meal quickly. After that, Conan pestered Chen and said that he wanted to play shogi with him. The two played for a while, and then they rested until it was getting late. After so many days of work, Chen finally got a good night's sleep and felt better. I saw some friends say that flooding Iwagakure is unscientific, because the water source will definitely be taken seriously in the war, and there will be people guarding it closely. I do not deny this. But the problem is, the fighting place is in the country of rain, the sky is raining all the time, and water resources really don't matter at all. This is also the reason why I always say that the protagonist and others want to destroy food and never destroy water sources.